So somebody asked you, can GTA 6 succeed without Dan Houser? And you went, I might want to ban this guy, you know?
Well, this next question's for you, Andy. Are we getting 60 frames on the PS5 Pro?
If you read the website, it says about Jason that he wants an easy life.
There are certain things, of course, that they could integrate into all vehicles. Like, for example, you should be able to pop the trunk and throw your duffel bag in there. That is
Like, you
true.
can't summon your car and it drives. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can if you have a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the player vehicle's a Tesla. Finally, I get to drive around in my glorified Michael.
All right, so welcome back to the GTA 6 Creator Roundtable. I'm Sav, and today's lineup is stacked with some legends shaping the GTA 6 community right now. If you guys didn't notice, Zach Cox wasn't able to make it today. We're going to get him on another episode. But starting off, we've got Bogan Bav, the Thunder from Down Under. Bogan returns for his second round here at the table. The man's content is insanely entertaining. His GTA 6 Trailer 2 recreation is absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen Trevor cosplaying as Lucia in a pink miniskirt, you haven't lived. Next up, we have Dandy Andy, the breakout star of the month. His channel's blown up lately thanks to the sharp editing, clean presentation, and some seriously tight breakdowns. And look at this, guys. He's got his whole VTuber thing set up, so he's rigged up for animations and all that. Massive respect. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the roundtable, man. Then we've got GTA Infinity is in the house, one of the co-creators of the infamous GTA 6 Creator Discord, where all of us meet to plot, collaborate, and complain about the algorithm. His YouTube channel is a mix of smart analysis and pure hype. It's impossible to watch just one video. And last but certainly not least, emerging from the wild, we have Fizhy, a brilliant storyteller with dry humor and ruthless honesty. This guy can weave narrative into anything, and his perspective always brings the conversation back down to earth, usually right before it goes off the rails. So that's the crew. Welcome, everyone. Glad we worked out the schedule, and most everybody could make it for this one. How's everybody doing this morning, afternoon, and evening?
I've never been summarized so perfectly before, but I'll take it.
He does it well.
Yeah, real show. Yeah.
It was quite the introduction.
Well,
I feel important now.
Well,
Like
you
I'm
guys
on
are
Joe Rogan
important.
right now.
Or like the Sean Ryan show. I just don't have any
I feel like
gummy
I'm gonna
bears
need
to
to be
hand out.
humbled. Oh no.
Yeah, sorry, no gummy bears. But yeah, seriously, glad you guys could make it. I know scheduling this thing was kind of crazy. Fizhy, Bogan, thank you guys for filling in last minute. Dandy, thank you for being a part of this. Really glad you could show up. We've had a lot of requests for you. GTA Infinity, been a lot of people in the comments asking for you too as well. So I'm glad you guys could make it. So kind of what we'll do is we'll go right into the first segment. So what I kind of like to do is in my streams, I get all kinds of questions. I'm sure you guys do in your videos or streams. Some of these questions are great and I love answering them, but some of them are not so fun to answer. And I call these borderline bannable questions. So that's this segment. This is where I get to share my pain and get somebody else to answer these for once. So this segment is called borderline bannable questions. So starting off, Bav, I saved the best one for you, buddy. Is GTA 6 getting delayed again?
Not this one again.
Oh, the classic.
Look, if we don't hear anything by the end of the year, it's 100% delayed. I don't want it to because I like the date. The date's perfect the way it is. I don't want them to change it, but I'm starting to prepare for a delay, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're all have to be emotionally prepared for if that day comes, but I'm hoping that it won't.
If you expect the worst, then you can't be disappointed. So
That's true.
I'll just have it in my head. It's going to be delayed. Then if it's not delayed, win.
Yep.
I
In
actually
theory-
slightly disagree with it being delayed if we didn't hear anything in 2026 at the start, because we've seen with Borderlands and Mafia, the Old Country, which are all Take-Two interactive games, that they've really been condensing the marketing timeline, like Strauss, the bank check himself, Zelnick says. And so it might be that we get anything in February before that earnings call, that they're really going to condense the marketing. That being said, we already got through 2 trailers, so you never know, man. But I just hope we'll get something, in 2 weeks. Basically, that's the dream,
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I
you
add
could
something there?
sod's law it.
Yeah, of course.
You could sod's law it completely. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you guys jump in.
No, you're fine.
If you bet your entire life savings on it getting delayed again, it won't be.
That's true, especially with my luck.
But don't they kind of remove, or they move, to my understanding though, haven't they always kind of moved back release windows? But then as far as like absolute concrete dates, they for the most part have stuck to those over the years, haven't they?
I'm sure they've delayed before, but it's really hard to look back at previous release
True,
cycles
and compare to what they're going to do now. Yeah.
and say this delay is necessary again because Rockstar are just habitually they're habitually optimistic about when they're going to get a game done. While it is more often than not in the industry, I suppose, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen this time. But the only way to know for sure is when they say, "Oh, we've delayed it again."
That's
or
fair.
They just don't say that.
And to Andy's point,
True. I hope not.
I think the only GTA game that I know of that they gave us like an actual hard ship date and it didn't ship on that date was Grand Theft Auto 4. Everything else they talked about release windows and then moved the release window and then eventually gave us a hard date and it shipped on that date. So that's kind of what I'm holding on to, but you know, we never know. Question number 2 in Borderline Bannable questions. This one's for you, GTA Infinity. When are we getting Trailer 3?
Trailer 3, man. Oh, there is so many possibilities for that. Yeah, like 3 things can happen, right? Number 1 is actually like 4 or 5 things can happen, but number 1 is trailer 3 comes out basically November 4th, 2 days before the earnings call, and we're all gonna be happy and it's gonna be dope, right? And it comes out along with the pre-orders and everything. Number 2 can be we hear nothing until February, like I said, with the condensed timeline and all that type of stuff. Number 3 is, you know, we won't even talk about trailer 3 because there's a delay. So yeah, in my opinion, it's either this November, this December, or somewhere in February. That's what I think.
Fair enough. Anybody have anything you want to add to that?
I think it's a case of how long's a piece of string. When will we get trailer 3? When Rockstar feel like it, I suppose, at this point.
Yeah.
It's not worth much more
the
thought
thing.
than that because then it will sneak up on you and you'll be surprised.
They
Yeah.
can do whatever the hell they want. Like, it's funny because when the delay came, one day before that, I made a video like, we've never been closer to GTA 6 news. And then one day
That's how
later,
it goes.
there was like a delay. And then I made a video that same day, like, yeah, trailer 2 is not coming out in 3 months, right? And then the next Tuesday, 4 days later, trailer 2 did come out. So we'll never know, man.
So you guys,
it's up
you
to
heard
them
it
to
here
shut
first.
up this
Is
thing.
GTA Infinity's fault that GTA 6 just got delayed? So he just said it.
Yeah.
How
He
dare you.
I
manifested
wasn't
it.
wrong when I said I was going to be used.
All right, Andy. This
Maybe if
one's...
we hear about it.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was like, maybe, you know, like what Bav was saying, like maybe if we don't hear about it in November, maybe expect delays some. I've been really counting on it popping up in November, like kind of planning around that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah, I digress.
Well, this next question's for you, Andy. Are we getting 60 frames on the PS5 Pro?
No, not at launch. I don't think so because I don't know this. I've done a lot of videos now, or just a few, or 1 or 2 that did all right about like kind of like the AI technology and stuff like that that they're using under the hood for the new Rage 9 engine. That's going to kind of have, you know, more like engine optimizations and stuff to get the game running well. I would be surprised if it ran at 60 frames per second without some sort. Now, if the resolution is like upscaled, like they do some sort of checkering or something like that, it's possible. But like native 4K at 60 FPS, I just don't know how in the world PS5 Pro could run that, you know? So I'm thinking what they're going to do is probably triple dip. So we'll have it come out on the PS5 Pro locked at 30 frames per second. Maybe there'll be a performance mode or something like that with upscaled 60 FPS. Then, you know, when the PS6 or whatever comes out, the next generation of consoles will get that 60 FPS, maybe even higher. And, you know, and before that, we'll, of course, have the PC release. So
Yeah.
that's what I think we'll probably see.
What do you make
That'll
of
be
that?
a good way to sell it as well. If they
That's
put
true.
in the 60, they're like, hey, this one's got 60. So that'll be a good way to sell
Yeah.
it.
What do you guys make of that rumor that they were testing 60 frames or they were testing something? I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something about Sony's lab technicians testing 60 frames or PS5 Pro or something. Do you guys remember that? Did you hear about that?
I think that was
They're
about
testing
the
60 frames.
frame generation thing that they're working on with the something
Yes.
like natively or something. I think it'll be 60 FPS if they do have the fake frames, because it's just frame generation. It's just a bunch of AI slop putting over the game, right? And natively it'll be probably what, like 144p or so. What? No, not 144. What's it called?
1440p.
1440. Yeah.
And then 60 or 30 FPS natively, and then it'll be kind of fake framed generated upscaled to 60. That's kind of my theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
makes
think
sense.
that's fair.
Yeah, it's not a bad theory. Okay, this one's for Fizhy. Can GTA 6 succeed without Dan Houser?
I presume Dan Houser's responsible for a lot of the writing we've enjoyed over the years. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
It absolutely can. They just have to hire a writer. Well, obviously they probably have done now. Like, we're talking hindsight. They just
Still
need a
looking for
writer
writers.
who has a bit of panache and the skill to write a coherent story. Dan Houser ain't the only one in the business who can write, and the baton has to be handed off eventually. So it would be interesting to see how it handles. It'll certainly feel different, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just an evolution. It's an evolutionary step, if you will. Whether that's a good one or a bad one, we'll know after the game's out, but there's no reason why it can't succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we learned with Mind's Eye that it doesn't take one person to make a game. It's a whole team of people.
Yeah, it's an entire ship full of holes. Let's not do that.
So like, it'll definitely feel a little bit different, but I think it comes down to not one single person, but an entire team to make a game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Rockstar know what they're doing. You'd hope. I won't go so far as to say they absolutely know what they're doing, because that's me invoking something and them then you don't want to risk it. But one person going, no matter how senior, the knock-on effect could be big from that. It could also be small.
Yeah.
And honestly, it might just be interesting more than anything. So I'm not too worried about that. Maybe retroactively people might be able to say this is where there was an absolute change, and whether that's good or bad, we won't know until then. But yeah, the game can succeed without Dan Houser because it's selling itself off its own name. A lot of people won't see the marketing for this game and still buy it. So it'll succeed. Yeah. It'll succeed. That's absolute. But will it, will it be as cohesive? That's a trickier question to answer. But there's no reason why it can't be.
Yeah, fair point. All right, and I guess without Zach here, that rounds out our borderline bannable questions. So thank you guys for adding your 2 cents with those. Those questions I get all the time. Bav knows he spends some time in my live stream. What we do is, like, when somebody pops in and they ask a question, especially around the delay, I have like an emoji that we all spam in the chat. What were you saying, Fizhy?
Are these questions like borderline bannable questions? Are these questions you got asked in your chat?
Yeah. These are all questions that I constantly get asked in my chat.
So somebody asked you, can GTA 6 succeed without Dan Houser? And you went, I might want to ban this guy,
No, not the first one. Not the first one. Like the 20th person that asked me that.
I think it's a no stairway situation.
Yeah. No stairway.
No matter how many times you answer the question, somebody else always wants to know the answer to
it.
This.
Well, and I try to be nice to everybody, so I'll of course answer their question, but we give them a hard time in the chat. We spam I have little Home Alone emoji of what's his name from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. He's got this face, and so a lot of the mods will start spamming that every time somebody pops in and asks one of those questions. But it's funny.
Oh, that's good. That's epic.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get into the meat of the content here with the more thoughtful questions that hopefully you guys will have a little bit more fun with. So, Bogan, starting off with you, buddy, what is one feature from GTA 5 that you really hope does not make it into GTA 6?
I hope that we are not able to purchase militarized vehicles on the websites at all. I feel like they need to be something that you obtain from a restricted area instead of being able to call them up and purchase like an aircraft and just destroy the lobby. It just becomes a griefing tool, and if they make it so it's only in restricted areas like a military base or even the aircraft carrier, I think that'd be sick. I feel like it would be much better for griefers, or much worse for griefers actually, because people don't have access to those vehicles.
That's actually a really good idea. Like, make it so they can't buy it.
Yes.
Like, I love being able to call up my Raiju. It's great for missions. It's great to just fly around the map and all that. But I think we should restrict this, because when are you going to go onto a website and purchase a fighter jet? You can't do that. I know it's just a video game, but I don't know. I feel like it should be restricted.
I don't know, maybe on the dark web.
Yeah.
Just a quick checkout on PayPal and you'll get like a big tank. That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So GTA Infinity, do you think Brian is going to turn on Jason and Lucia at some point in the story? The reason I asked this, I was watching McTannen stream. Shout out McTannen. Guy's superior as far as like streaming and entertaining goes. But he had a theory that he thinks that Brian might be turning on Jason and Lucia at some point in the story. What do you think about that, GTA Infinity?
Yeah, man, big shout out to McTannen and the Friend Brothers. It's kind of hard to say, you know. I think McTannen's theory also had the thing of that everybody is kind of crossing each other, but they don't know it from each other. That could be possible. It could also be the complete opposite, where I feel like Brian might be either killed overall or just put into prison, and that is going to show the ramifications of Lucia's craziness. I think that the main story is going to be about the ramifications of how crazy Lucia is, basically, and Jason needing to go along with that. Jason still wants to be with Lucia. Lucia still wants to be with Jason. But it kind of, they need to like fix all these problems together. So Brian turning on Jason and Lucia, it's so difficult because we don't really know anything except for what we've been reading on the website and maybe some screenshots or the trailer moments. But overall, yeah, it could all be possible, you know. So who knows?
So when you say how crazy Lucia is, are you talking like her pulling him deeper and deeper into the mess?
Yeah, because if you read the website, it says about Jason that he wants an easy life. Basically, the Leonida Keys, I feel like the beginning of the game is kind of where Jason's story, in terms of his own arc, where he thinks his arc is completed, because he's had this whole military background, he has trauma, I guess, from, you know, what happens before the game story. And he thinks he is kind of at the end of the line, but Lucia just brings him back into the craziness of everything. That's kind of my theory of how everything will go. And so you have this giant road trip around Leonida, which we will go through from rags to riches, kind of led by Lucia, because she wants to live that big life and make something big of herself, you know, to kind of honor her mom, which is something that is also on the website mentioned. But Jason, he just kind of wants to chill, and maybe it's just him kind of simping, or who knows what Jason wants to do, you know. So
yeah, well, it's usually the women that get us in trouble, right?
So she's going to be a La Toxica.
Comment on that.
La Toxica.
I tend to have no problems getting myself into trouble. It must be said.
Yeah, well, I did a video about Lucia's actress Maniel Perez, right? And I had to watch a lot of interviews, and where she's like slips about, you know, she kind of described Lucia's character as like a crazy murdering bitch, basically. So yeah, she's like hysterical, Lucia. So I think there's a lot of craziness that's going to drag Jason down, and the craziest set pieces are going to come from the wild stuff Lucia wants to do to get, you know, the fame, the money, all of that.
That's interesting. Trevor 2.0.
Or Catalina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Dandy, based on the GTA 6 website clips showing weapons in trunks, what else do you think we'll be able to stash in our vehicles?
Dude, I saw this question and I was so happy you asked it, because the vehicle is something I'm so looking forward to from this, based off of like, you know, all the leaks and stuff like that. So obviously, yeah, we're going to have the restricted weapon wheel and weapons from, you know, again, nothing's 100% confirmed to the controllers in our hand, right? But,
sure.
You know, there's the screenshots you could see on Rockstar's website of Brian handing, looks to be Lucia in the front of the vehicle, you know, drugs. So I imagine we're going to have some sort of drug smuggling in the game. So I imagine we're going to be carrying around narcotics. You know, did any of you play the game Narc a long time ago back in the day? You know, there's all these there's a bunch of different like drugs and systems and stuff like that. I think we might see something like that as well. But that's a whole nother thing. But I think, you know, drugs, I think we could potentially see some sort of Spotify integration with the radio. There's been talks about that, something like that. But other than drugs and weapons, healing items, changes of clothes, because there's been talks of potential, you know, witness system to where you might need to change how you look. So really I think those three things primarily, but definitely consumables. We're going to be going to the convenience stores to literally buy like beer and, piss water, all that kind of stuff, to heal stamina, health, and stuff like that, just like in Grand Theft Auto Online. So all sorts of stuff. And I wonder if you can clean out your car and just have it be a total wreck. So I'm curious.
A vacuum minigame, go to the car wash.
Yeah, there you go. Those immersion elements, man, we got to bring them back. Got to go vacuum out the car.
Fill it
Get
up with
those
fast
crumbs.
food bags.
I think that
Yes,
is
exactly.
Because in GTA 4 you had the car wash. Maybe in GTA 5 like online too. I wonder now because the interiors we've seen from the leaks are very detailed. If there's like a bunch of guys that will clean the interior for you at the car wash. or
Yep.
something.
Get all the burger shot bags out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I've been since Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I've been referencing this quite a bit in my videos. But like how important the horse was to your gameplay, and
Exactly.
like how you moved around the map. It's like I think that the cars in GTA 6 could play a similar role. And people have been wanting that stuff for a really long time. I think we should be able
It'll be a
to.
bit juxtaposed. It'll be
Yeah.
See, with the horse in Red Dead 2, a horse is a horse. You don't really feel the need to go and try out other horses. You got your horse,
Right.
With cars in GTA, you have such a wide scope of vehicles. It's trying to emulate the real world. Well, you get some people in small sports cars, some people driving monstrous pickup trucks that they'll never need in their life because they're just going to the shops. And you have everything in between. So there's a lot more appeal to go away from your set vehicle and drive something else. So it might be a bit interesting to see how they balance that. But
Yeah, and kind of what like in Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, you bring up jumping on somebody else's horse. You still have a lot of the same features that you have even on someone else's horse. Like you can still put a body on the back of the horse, and you can still lead them and things like that. So there are certain things, of course, that they could integrate into all vehicles. Like, for example, you should be able to pop the trunk and throw your duffel bag in there with your weapons or whatever other consumables you're holding, or put a body in there or something like that. I really think
you won't be able to get your arsenal, and you won't be able to summon it.
that's true.
Those are the setbacks.
That is
like, you
true.
can't summon your car and it drives. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can if you have a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the player vehicle's a Tesla. Finally, I get to drive around in my glorified microwave.
Well, maybe it's like you assign yourself a vehicle, like kind of like how Cyberpunk worked, and even Grand Theft Auto 5. But I think in Grand Theft Auto 5, the characters just had the vehicles attached to them, their specific defaults. In Cyberpunk, you could, get different ones. But I think that we're going to see something to where it's like you're going to see your car like on the HUD. You're not going to be able to like call it over to you. Or maybe you will with like some fancy car later on down the road. But some sort of spawn protection. So you can park your car, go do a mission, not come back and be gone. You lose it for the entire game. That kind of thing.
Or you could get
and then being able to get to it.
Like, hey, Lucy, go get the whip.
Oh, yeah. That's something I haven't thought about. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Pull the car around.
If they are going to tether inventory and things like that to the car, then rather than GTA 5 where the characters had a set default car, it needs to be the player's choice. What that car is, and it needs to be interchangeable through a system that allows it. Otherwise, you will just find yourself driving the same dinger from the start of the game.
Well, another way around that too is to make your duffel bag your
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 saddle.
inventory. That's your saddle, and you put it from car to car. So you when you hop out of the car, your character has either the duffel bag on, or you have to go pull it out of the trunk or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but
that's a good point. I like
Little
that.
knapsack.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that eliminates a lot of issues, but it would also be interesting to see how they handle like character vehicles, as in vehicles owned by the player in that sort of set. So is it as simple as slapping your duffel bag in some random person's car? This is mine now. I've occupied it.
Yeah.
Or is it? Or is there a little bit more intricacy? And are there vehicles that you can perhaps buy or exchange yours for? It'll be interesting to see how they format such a system.
Mm-hmm.
But it would certainly be infinitely more interesting to me than somebody whipping a rocket launcher out of their pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm all on board for anything that makes it more
I'm sorry.
immersive. No, go ahead, Andy.
Well, it's like in Red Dead Redemption 2, you could steal a horse, but it's not your horse until you hitch it or take it to the stables or something like that. I wonder if when you steal a car, if you wanted to make it yours, you'll have to go get it registered or something to some extent, maybe through some CD thing, something
Change
like
the
that.
plates. Like Mafia
Exactly.
2, where you
Exactly.
change the plates and you put whatever you want that fits in 6 characters on it.
But if you wanted to go around and play to where like, okay, I've got too many burger shot bags in here and I don't want to play that cleaning mini game, you could just abandon the car, steal someone else's car, throw your duffel bag in, and you're good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe there's an option to
also
pay and
wonder-
spray to like register the vehicle to you.
Exactly.
I just hope we get
That
to
kind of thing.
customize the number plate, because then you can have it say silly things.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
wonder
This
if
is
there's, like,
this is
an-
a good topic. This is going to be interesting. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I wonder if there's like an illegal kind of Los Santos customs or Vice City customs, because like in GTA 4 you had little Jacob. You could go to him and have like he would open the doors of the car and it would be like all these guns, right? I wonder if that's also going to be an option for your own car in GTA 6, where you can just have kind of a rig where you have all these guns that you want to do, maybe for special heist missions or whatever. You can just go on a rampage, but then it's still realistic. You don't pull it out of your ass. You just pull it, in. You grab it out of the car, but you have a lot of options instead of just your big duffel bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, we're actually going to come back to the inventory system here in a few minutes. I've got another question coming up, so we'll get right back into this discussion. But I'll move on here to Fishy's question. If you had to pick one vehicle to use for the entire GTA 6 story, what would it be and why?
Oh, this question makes it's a weird one, because we don't know what vehicles they're going to be. So what answer I give you now might be different to what I end up developing a preference for down the line. However, considering my content and my like for like mysteries and things like that, it would have to be something dodgy. It would have to be the rustiest van I could find, because it has to be that rusty tractor from GTA 5. Make that come back, I'll be all right. I'm just 2 miles an hour uphill. We're living the dream.
I can see it now. You're in a police chase running down Main Street in Miami, and you got a load of cop cars behind you, and you and Lucy are on sharing a seat on a rusty tractor.
I'm from the West Country, and this is what we do,
Yeah, that's
It's a strategy, because then the police, they overdo it and they'll shoot past you.
Yeah.
Exactly. They'll think I'm faster than I am.
That's funny. All right, Bogan. The northern end of the map is still mysterious. What do you think Rockstar is doing up there? More coastline or some kind of mainland integration?
Based on what TGG said in the previous episode, Rockstar are very intentional with their wording. So when they mentioned Mount Calaga, still don't know how to say that one. They said that it was up against the state's northern border. Could that mean that we do have like land that goes beyond there? I don't know. My preference is for it to be an island, because I would rather get in a plane, fly out over the ocean, and then my plane cuts out, I sink, I drown. But if I see land, I feel like I want to go and access that, and I'll be bummed out when I can't actually go and drive there. So I don't know. I feel like they haven't shown it for a reason. We don't know what it looks like. The mapping project still haven't mapped that out. So who knows? They could be going that direction and actually connecting it to the rest of the US. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and as far as the mapping project that you're referencing, for those that don't know, if you go in Google and you type up GTA 6 mapping project, it'll give you an idea of, what we're piecing together. I don't mean we personally, but there's a whole group of people out there that are piecing together this map based on screenshots and trailer footage and all that stuff. It's insane. They're like measuring shadows from buildings to determine like the length and scale of the map. It's nuts. But that's it's really interesting.
The thing is how accurate they've been in the past.
Right.
Yes, with Grand Theft Auto 5.
And Red Dead Redemption 2, if I'm not mistaken, or was there a leak for that? There was.
No, there was, but they did get that down almost 100%. They didn't have New Austin in there, but they did get everything else.
Yeah. No, see, it's insane how accurate they make it. So if they're developing a map, there's a good chance it's going to be quite indicative. So I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
They might get it wrong for once, but they could also
so
be
dedicated to it as well.
They've got more people now too.
Yeah.
True.
And I'm wondering too, like we're seeing a lot of like water shots and all that, but it's all tight close-up shots. We don't see any like very few like skyline shots of the water. So I'm wondering what kind of like islands, or are we gonna get the Bahamas? Are we gonna get some little mini version of like Cuba, or anything like that? I really want the Bermuda Triangle to be in the game. That would require Bahamas and Bermuda. So I don't know. It's really interesting to think about.
We do have that aerial shot of the Keys.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
So who knows? You know, that shot of the Keys down where Jason is, and I don't know. I think that's where they pulled a lot of information for the southern portion. But I don't know. Who knows? They've got more people working than ever, and that's the Yanis mapping project.
Yeah. Bav, what were you gonna say?
I think it would be really cool to have those little islands in there as well, especially for the drug smuggling stuff that's going on at Brian's, because getting your packages sorted and then flying them across like the map that you're already on, Leonida, I think that would feel a bit strange. It would make a lot more sense to actually fly out to another country or wherever and pick up, do drop-offs, and then head back to where you are. I think that'd be a lot more fun than just flying around Leonida.
I'm with you 100%. I really think, like, if you go back to the original, leaks, Project America's thing, they were wanting this to be like a South America, like Caribbean style, crime game. So it would make sense to me that they have like at least some islands, and maybe we get like a Gorma style mid-story, adventure on South America or something. I don't know. It could be really interesting.
Certainly be a change in the dynamic. It would be what I like about Guarma in Red Dead 2 is it's a spanner in the works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a very long part of the game, but it's long enough to feel adequate.
Yeah.
But the main thing is it's just a complete injection of something nobody could have predicted.
Right.
So maybe they'll carry that over, but I don't know if they'd do that again.
Yeah.
Well, every GTA has had a portion where you go to a different
yeah,
map,
they have.
basically.
Yeah, you've had
San Andreas, you went back to GTA 3. GTA 4 didn't have that, I think, but GTA 5 had North Yankton and
North
AOP
Yankton, yeah, for a mission at the start and a mission somewhere in the middle. They weren't as derailing to the open world as Guarma was in Red Dead 2. So it'd be interesting if they go the full Guarma direction, or even beyond it and give it its own sort of like chapter space, or if they go back towards what they did with like North Yankton, and if they're going somewhere else, it's going to be entirely on the point in a mission.
Yeah.
I mean, the possibilities could go either way. It depends, because Guarma it had a lot that you could praise about it. There's also a lot you can criticize about it.
Yeah,
True.
That is true. And I've gone back to Guarma with mods on my PC just to kind of explore, and you can tell that they only really did enough to like make the missions work with the map. There's a lot of the map that's just like unfinished, and you just fall off the edge and all that stuff. Maybe I can make a video about it, but I'm sure there's one already out there on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, it is interesting to think about where we could possibly go in the story outside of Leonida itself. We know there's always going to be surprises, right? It's Rockstar, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw this one video, like from years ago, when YouTube recommends you videos from like years ago, and it was about how to access Guarma in chapter 1 or something, or chapter 2, before the PC version was even out. And it's basically this guy going to the border of the map, finding a random horse, and he just goes out of bounds. And this kind of goes back to maybe the northern border conversation, because it's insanely wild how detailed the out of bounds area is in Red Dead Redemption 2 and how far it goes.
mm-hmm.
It's absolutely insane. You should look it up. And they may do something with that with the northern border, where you can see kind of Gloriana, but you get attacked or something. You're considered a terrorist if you go over the border or whatever. But yeah, I think there might be a mainland.
Well,
yeah, if it is connected, how do you guys want Rockstar to handle like the restriction? Like, how do you want them to stop the player from going there?
There are two ways you could do it. You could, are we talking purely if it's like a landlock for once as opposed to an island?
Yeah.
I
So
think.
how would
like
you
to
handle it, like
preface-
flying and driving?
I would like to preface this by saying I think it's going to be an island, but what you do is you just have it be completely just mountains and a boarded up sort of like tunnel with a road that just leads to a dead end, basically. And then for flying, you just, for some reason, have surface to air missiles all along this ridge line. So if you go out that way, you're getting
Like the two states in a
taken
civil
out.
war.
Yeah. It wouldn't make any sense, but GTA is meant to be ridiculous.
Oh, the way the
so-
world's going, it's probably going to make sense.
Oh yeah, it will. Oh,
What about
God.
like Raging Wildfire? What about something like that? Like
Oh.
they closed down part of the landmass because there's a fire that got out of control, or something like that. They could integrate some sort of story lore that would make sense for shutting down most of the map. And then that would allow them to down the road open it up and give us more area, which, you know, they said is the plan anyway in the Bloomberg report. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
You can make the terrain unpassable, and then like when you're flying in the air, your plane breaks down, you know. So like, you know, in Red Dead, you're never flying. Yeah, exactly. Just something crazy.
There is one Red Dead mission where you are flying, sort of.
Or the hot air balloon.
But you don't go up towards those mountains, do you? It's all on rails. And if you spawn the hot air balloon with mods, it's incontrollable. So
I just tried it for the first time last night. Yeah. I was trying to snipe people out in Valentine using it.
Yeah, it's completely inoperable. The thing goes up and down, but stays entirely stationary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, that actually, I just had a thought, and when I mentioned the wildfire thing, I didn't even like consider this. But you guys remember the screenshot of Mount Calaga with the helicopter and the news guy, and you can see like the smoke and the flames in the background. What if that's the edge of the map?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe on
Pull
something.
this thing up. There's flames in the background.
I thought so. Maybe I'm tripping. I seem to remember flames in the
No,
background.
you're not tripping. That's that's not Calaga though, is it? That's
I thought it was Calaga.
Ambrosia.
Is it Ambrosia? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm mixing up two different screenshots then. I think I'm thinking of the flames, them burning the fields in Ambrosia, and I'm mixing up the helicopter. Okay, maybe not.
It's a bit yellow orangey. It kind of, I can see it getting mistaken with that.
Okay, yeah, it's just an orange glow of the sunset or something. Okay, never mind, guys. Scratch that. Wishful thinking.
Nice theory.
Thought we were going somewhere.
Thought we found something new.
That would be kind of a cool way to open the map up to the player though as time goes on, and that's what I thought Bav was originally talking about, is like going from story beat to story beat, and how's the map going to unlock over time, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I figured they'd either do that with like hurricane stuff, or like Lucia's got, you know, she's on parole, you know, that kind of thing.
Do you think they'll restrict the map for us? Do you think they'll say you can't go
I
here?
hope
Or you think
so.
they'll open it up?
Well, if they do it like Red Dead Redemption 2, you could go wherever you wanted, right? Like right off the beginning. But I did like that, how they did it to where it felt like every new chapter felt like a new season, just based on the environment, and it just felt right to move with the story to different locations. I know not every player plays that way and likes to go everywhere, but personally I do like to kind of follow to the new location and kind of have that experience of going on an adventure, you know, and seeing new things as time goes on.
Yeah.
So I hope, I don't know.
Naturally isolates quite well, so it naturally compartmentalizes entire portions of its map to the chapter that you're in. And while there's no rule that says you have to play that way, like on a first playthrough, you're going to.
Right.
You're going to largely play that way.
True. Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of similarities between Red Dead and GTA, but there's a lot of differences as well. I think from a certain perspective, they might chapter it in a similar way where you're in a certain part of the map from point to point, but they could also just open up the map and go nuts. The only caveat is Lucia has an ankle monitor. However, I doubt by the time she's doing robberies, that's still there, because
True.
otherwise, who else could it be? You know.
Well, early game, it'll give you an excuse to just explore as Jason and leave Lucia behind. Sorry, babe, can't bring you.
Oh no, he starts cheating on her. Well, like with the wildfires too, it could open up part of the map. So maybe there's like a whole region you can't go to because wildfires, and then after a certain amount of time, that's, you know, gone, and then you can then go there. Nah, who knows?
Yeah, plausible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to GTA Infinity's next question. What do you personally think Rockstar should prioritize more? Dynamic AI interactions, so such as like walking up to an NPC and like, you know, having a menu option of different ways that you can interact with them, or more realistic traffic systems?
So what I think will like change the most from the previous GTAs, and also what will take probably the most manpower to create, is 100% the dynamic AI interactions with, like the NPCs, right? Kind of upgrading the RDR2 greet and antagonize system. Maybe there will be like a flirting option. You can flirt with people. You can like persuade them to do whatever or something. Maybe there's pickpocketing, things like that. Also something that everybody's probably noticed when you watched Trader 1 back in the day, feels so long ago, is
I was such a young boy then.
We
I
were
have grey
infants,
hairs
man.
now. I have grey hairs now. It's been
Yeah.
600 years.
It's crazy. and you'll see on the beach, if you're not distracted by the booty, these people who are just chilling and traveling in groups. So here's the thing that I don't see anybody talk about, which is you don't just have interactions with a single NPC. You can have interactions when you're talking to an entire group simultaneously. And I'm kind of interested if Rockstar is going to make a distinction between just talking to one person or if they're with a whole group, and if that's going to change any options or something. So it might create a whole new form of interact. And world events are also probably interactable like RDR2, when you just stumble upon something, and you make a decision. If somebody's getting robbed, are you going to save him, or are you going to rob like everybody, and then you have the social media aspect. People can film you, people can film each other. You can go on like GTA's Twitter or whatever and see wild, I don't know, clowns fucking killing babies or something. I don't know.
Oh my God.
So
No.
in a strip club, I don't know.
Oh, in a strip club.
Where's your mind going?
Oh, that's the
God.
bit to latch onto.
It's a Serbian film.
It's GTA, baby. But
GTA,
Oh
baby.
my
Yeah.
God.
And then at the other side, Vice City, baby. That's a reference. Yeah, in terms of traffic, it's basically, in Trainer 1, you have that car that's upside down with like the news top-down shot, and there's different cars, going around it, so they're aware of everything. Then you have what I thought was very interesting in Trailer 2. You had Jason's first-person shot where he was driving on the highway. You see the construction workers kind of doing their thing, or like cleaning the road or whatever they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nothing. I understand.
Looking
Also-
busy. Looking busy. They're the
just
council.
chilling, yeah, just grabbing their paycheck basically.
Justifying
then-
council tax in these trying times. We're not
And
actually
then-
doing anything. We just dig a hole in the road to inconvenience you.
Well, that was community service for
Probably.
yeah, to serve out your parole.
And then the last one I had was, if Lucia is having a grenade launcher and she's blowing up the cops, I wonder if those roads are going to be closed down when you have like major, it's not an accident, but like, major events happening that'll because in GTA 5 and 4, if you just hop out of your car on the highway, the traffic just stops. They don't really know what to do. So in GTA 6, the traffic is going to be upgraded probably a lot, but not as much, I think, as the NPC.
You think we'll get like persistent car wrecks? So like, for example, if you cause a massive pileup on the highway and then you just keep going on your police chase or whatever, and then eventually you circle back to that, you think there will be like wreckers and cleanup crews there like kind of moving stuff around, or you think they'll just like despawn it?
That would be so cool.
I mean, if you
would be
brain a guy
super
in
cool.
GTA 5, an ambulance pulls up, don't they? So
Yeah, so I wonder how kind of detailed that it's going to be. Like, if there's going to be, standard, like default kind of procedures for that, right? Maybe you have also the cops coming, in a lot of real life places. If you have a car wreck, cops also show up. If somebody dies, they put like, a lint or whatever it's called in English. They kind of shut down the place, right? And you have people who are kind of investigating it and all that type of stuff. And actually, we've seen that with the car wreck in that same shot in Trailer 1. When you see the car upside down, it's the cops who are coming to save the guy, and there's no ambulance yet. Or maybe I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
love to see
true.
car crashes get cleaned up. Like, have a tow truck come along, pick them up, and if you follow the tow truck, it takes it all the way back to the wreckers. That'd be cool.
It's
I'd like
it's
that.
Franklin in there.
Might we see like car chases or stuff on the news channel? Like if you turn on the TV in Jason's house and there's a news station,
Yeah.
could we see like car chases, like cops chasing NPCs or
You
whatever?
see yourself.
It would be cool to see the in-game news reference event in the game. They do it in the story of GTA 5 because it's like story, that's stuff that actually happens. But it would be cool to see that in the free mode as well.
Yeah.
To, like,
I think
see
a
It
thing
was
that-
so fun.
I think a thing that Rockstar really probably has taken away from Red Dead Redemption 2 is environmental storytelling. So it's entirely possible there might be attached chance encounters. If you watch a car chase on the news, it just happens to be nearby, then suddenly it blasts past your house, and that's the end of that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see them carry over that stuff for sure.
Well, we know that social media is going to be a huge part of the game too. So seeing stuff that's happening in the world around you, I think, is going to help the player feel more connected with it. So I do think we are going to see some real-time things happening in freeform outside of, you know, the story stuff and all that. But I do think, like you're saying, it's going to be scripted, like random encounters, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, it's going
like
to be
how that's
heavily
triggered.
scripted.
Yeah,
It's
heavily. It would have to
probably
be.
gonna
It has to
heavily
be.
scripted. The thing is, not scripting things is just it's no less of an illusion. So Rockstar sort of got
Yeah.
the right idea. They want to create tight worlds, so they
And
want
that's
to
like the
deliver.
crazy thing for me. Like,
experience.
sorry, I talked over you.
It's okay. It's all good.
Oh, so because last episode you were talking about the interiors, like 700 interiors, and whether it's true or not, right? And I went back to the leaks and I saw that back in 2022 they had 157 of those. And so if you think it's pretty probable that you have 700 interiors, the reason why I say that is because there was also this world events list, which we were talking about, which has a little bit to do with the NPC system, right? And do you guys remember how much that was? Wasn't it like something like 1,200 or something, like a crazy amount? And that was like back in 2022.
Yeah.
Right. So how do they have like 6,000 interactions or something? Like if they keep doing it at the same pace as the interiors are.
Do you think it's likely they'll get all of those, or they won't quite get like, because if that list is from an incomplete variant of the game, if it's real at all, do you really think they're going to be expanding on that list, or if that list is the target, which that undoubtedly some things will be cut from?
Well, and the thing is,
it might be that they've.
Go ahead.
It's still a ludicrous number. It's about 400. It's about three times the size of Red Dead 2's. Or is it twice?
Well, it might be a to-do list, you know, instead of a list of what's already been coded. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about random encounters, like how many will be in the game?
Because there'll be a load of those, but
Yeah, Rockstar, I think, okay, Red Dead Redemption 2 had roughly 200. It could have been a little less, but the numbers I've been seeing are, in the thousands. So I don't know. I think, you know, that we might see them start to trim the fat back, but I think that they do know that the huge power of replayability in their games is having as many of those random event triggers as possible, because it gives you a reason to keep exploring.
Well, and I don't know if it scales the same way it would scale in Red Dead Redemption 2, and here's why. Because if you look at Red Dead Redemption 2, right, you're in the Wild West. It's a very open map. There's not a ton going on outside of like the major, you know, towns and cities. So like, you know, they've got to try and fill in a lot of that dead space with random encounters to make the player feel like they're not just exploring a vast expanse of nothingness. And when you have a city like Vice City in Leonida with, you know, modern, you know, vehicles and things happening and stuff, you know, going on all over the place, do you really need as many random encounters to keep the player entertained? So while I do think
that dead space a lot quicker,
while I do think there's still be a lot of them, I don't know if it would scale at the same rate as it would with like a Red Dead Redemption 2, like, you know, just because of the style of game and the difference. But that's just my thoughts on it.
It won't be as full of maybe the same caliber of environmental storytelling, though I hope for the opposite. But they'll definitely want to make the world feel as alive and spontaneous as possible.
Right.
I think you're going to see a lot of that out in the sticks, and then in the city, it's really going to just be all of these game systems, the advanced AI of the NPCs, you know, all of these new systems kind of working together to create emergent storytelling within, you know, the urban space, and then these random scripted encounters maybe more out in the sticks and the boonies.
Yeah, what they seem to focus on is presenting a solid illusion for the player to live within. So, you know, as long as that illusion is working, then that's their main focus. So whether that dictates how many random encounters they have in a certain area or not, that's what playtesting is for. So they're going to go in and they're going to say, how bored do I get in this area, and do we need to add more stuff into it? And that's, I think, going to kind of dictate a lot of that.
Or how long does it take for me to get bored here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, can I explore this place for like 2 hours and come away feeling like that was 2 hours well spent?
Or you can go back and spend another 2 hours later. You know what I mean?
Or
And it also
have I
kind
seen
of
everything that
depends.
I know is here in that 2 hours as well? Yeah.
I think there's also two categories of these events, because there's the interactable ones and the ones that are just kind of a show, like you just watch them go by. And I think that the more interactable are kind of outside of the dense cities, and then the things that you just look at, which are funny, like the Vice City screenshot with the girls who are on Ocean Beach or Ocean Drive, pulled over by the cops, right? I think that that's just one that you can watch happen, because it's already such a dense city, you know?
Yeah. I'm with you. That makes sense. All right, so excuse me. I've got a question for Dandy here. Would you have, and this kind of goes back to the inventory system we were talking about earlier, and I didn't want to bring it up because I knew I had this question coming up. But would you rather have persistent weapons that you never lose, and they cost, however much they cost, like 10,000, whatever, or would you rather have more affordable weapons, say like $400 for a pistol, but it's disposable and you drop it when you die?
I would rather, the latter, but I would rather have it to where when you buy a gun, it's going to, it's expensive, and then you can lose it when you die. And, there's a mod in Grand Theft Auto 4 that I absolutely love to play with. And once I started playing with this, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes the gameplay loop just so much better because, but the combat's not really designed for it, but I digress. But basically, with the bank mod, you lose the money that you have on your person when you die. So you have to get it to an ATM, put it in, stuff like that. So I think finding ways, obviously not doing like a permadeath for Grand Theft Auto, but finding ways of making it to where dying hurts and you do not want to die, unless you're just screwing around, then whatever. But like if, you're on a story mission, it gives you, to add some tension to it, I'd like the threat of actually being able to lose items, lose money. And you've always lost 10% like on the dot of everything of your money when you die. But I think also seeing heavy penalties on that. I think we're going to see a lot more weapons in this game and even potentially customization. So who knows? The sky's really the limit. Maybe you do have a couple of mains that stick with you and you do never lose. Maybe 3, and then everything else can be lost.
Maybe you have like a
really,
persistent
at this point,
sidearm.
it's all speculation. Yeah, exactly. I think at this point, though, it really is all speculation on this front. But I do hope that we see weapon. I do hope you can lose your crap, because it gives what you're doing weight,
Yeah, and how that ties back into what we were talking about earlier with the inventory system and like cars, that would kind of solve that problem too. Because if you're, if all you can carry weapon wise is what you can put on your person or in the car, and then that car gets into a wreck or something and you lose everything that was in it, I don't know how that would affect the larger gameplay cycle. So.
Right, you choose your loadout before you go do a mission, and I'm hoping too that missions are more sandbox based. And all that kind of stuff. So, and that you could order commands to the other partner that you're not playing as, like you were saying, like, Lucia, go get the car, stuff like that. Or, hey, you do crowd control, I'm going to go and take the money, that kind of stuff. So yeah, like maybe you equip a sidearm and you get 3 mags for that. And Jason has maybe he gets an AR-15. I'm curious if they're going to have it to where it's like fully automatic weapons, or they're going to have it like it is in the States to where, there's only semi-auto available to civilians that you can legally purchase and all that. But then there's ammunition. So I don't know. But anyways, then Jason gets his hands on his main and goes in, but you could lose those, but you keep everything else in the trunk. So it would kind of help you, the player, kind of inform like, okay, I've got to do this, this, and that. What is the best weapons tactically for this situation? And what's my strategy here for accomplishing the goal? I think that would just make it so much more fun than going into a map and be like, hey, kill all the guys at the construction site. Mission passed, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree completely. So I think it'll be really interesting to see, because we've had how they do Grand Theft Auto in the past with like the persistent inventory system, and you have access to everything all at one time. And it looks like this is going to be the very first one that kind of moves away from that model more towards Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work. And there's a lot of questions that I have around it, but I think it'll be good. I trust Rockstar. In the end, with most of this stuff, like I trust Rockstar. And what I tell everybody is, until they give me a reason not to trust them, I'm going to trust them. So
exactly, they've only done right by the players. And then, Sav, am I okay to run to the restroom real quick?
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. Anybody need to take a quick break?
All right,
Go
I'll be
grab
right back.
something to drink or use the bathroom.
Good.
Okay.
Do you guys think that if there is the option like is alluded to in GTA 6 where there's no like infinitely weapon wheel, the persistent weapon wheel, do you think it would be cool to have a cheat code that does allow for that, or do you think that
Oh yeah,
just
no, of
ruins
course.
the whole thing?
I think I do think that option would be handy.
Yeah,
because you don't want to
over.
You don't want to overcomplicate GTA's gameplay loop because of its very unique positioning as an entry point for gamers. So it could very well be a game that people who've never played games before jump into. So I think it would be very interesting if they didn't overcomplicate it, but they also allowed you the option to make it a little bit trickier, or a little bit more immersive, purely because that's the experience you want. But what Rockstar ultimately end up doing, it's entirely up in the air. Unfortunately, you can never anticipate. Their reasons are unknowable.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the best of both worlds would be to have the option.
There's so many questions around this game because it's so different for so many different reasons, right? Like we brought up Dan Houser not being a part of the project earlier, and this is the first time GTA is moving in a direction with a different inventory system and 2 protagonists instead of 3 or 1, and we're going back to Vice City, and there's a lot of like nuancy sort of things that make this game very different, and it's like it presents a lot of questions like how is this going to work? How is that going to work? What if it's like this? What if it's like that? But I think in the end, like I was saying, I trust them to do right by the player. As far as like difficulty sliders and all that, I would love to see that kind of stuff, but I don't know that Rockstar would do that. And TGG, kind of thought the same thing. I brought it up in the last roundtable episode. He's like, I don't think there will be any sort of difficulty sliders or toggles or anything. But I do think, especially when UGC rolls out, giving players like the ability to sort of play how they want to play is going to be key to retention.
Exactly.
I'm so happy that they're changing so much compared to the other GTAs because it's kind of about time, right? I don't know how you feel about it, but like we've had like kind of the same thing that we can expect from a GTA game, and especially for us as YouTubers who make like speculation videos, to not know what they're gonna change, but knowing that they're gonna change so much is really exciting and really fun to me. I just hope they and I do believe that they are making the most fun GTA that they've ever made, also the biggest. But yeah, this is kind of this fun pocket in time where we are, the before GTA 6 meme, right? Where once the game is out, cat's out of the bag, we will know everything about the game. So I just wanted to take a moment. Like this whole speculation thing is so fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really
I don't
is.
It really
do much
is.
Speculation. I don't do much speculation content on my end, so it's interesting to actually dive in and have a conversation about loads of things I'd never make videos on. It's quite nice. I understand the appeal now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh yeah, it's fun, man.
I like it.
Join the dark side.
You've converted me. A week from now, you'll see boobs in GTA 6 ? Exclamation mark! Question mark!
Jiggle
And you'll be like,
physics.
we got him. We got
Don't
him.
forget the red arrow on the thumbnail.
Oh, of course.
Yes, the essential red arrow.
Yeah.
And the red circle that points to nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And
What is that? I
while
can't
we're
quite
at
make it out.
While we're at it, shall I add like an RGB border so everyone knows who I'm trying to replicate?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, that'll
We
do.
need to
That'll
get
do
him
the
on
job.
the panel too, man.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
bring him in.
That would
Bring
be
him in.
he who shall not be named.
Bring him in. It'll be funny.
That is really funny. So I was coming to a question here for Fizhy, but I think we already kind of talked about it as far as like pre-orders and stuff going live before the end of the year and all that. So instead of doing that, I'm going to actually harvest one of Zach Cox's original questions that we were going to ask him.
That's handy because my answer to that was ask me on January 2nd.
Perfect.
There wasn't anything there from me.
So how about this? What is one surprise feature that you think nobody is anticipating for GTA 6?
Oh God, that is a bloody good question.
you go.
The
Now you
whole
can
point is
speculate.
if I think of a surprise feature, I'm absolutely wrong. That's the problem here. Is it's if I somehow say something here and then it ends up in the game, it's not a surprise to me anymore. But I honestly think how the entire game functions by comparison to previous titles, no matter how you work it in your head, it'll be different to that, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know of any surprise features realistically. Obviously, they might try and develop systems they already have. They might try and draw some things from Red Dead Redemption 2 tastefully, knowing it's not the same game. But surprise features, we'll have to wait and see because that's the fun. That's the fun, unfortunately.
Fair
I
enough.
wish I had a good answer to that question.
No, that's-
But if I
Clowns and
looked at that and
babies
gone,
in strip clubs.
if I'd looked at that last night and gone, I'm going to come up with something absolutely belter here, I probably would.
Yeah,
Like
no.
a baby in a strip club. That's your surprise feature.
It would be cool, wouldn't it?
You
It
can't
would be
come
very
back to the
no,
babies.
It would not be cool.
It would be
Yeah,
surprising.
true
I'll give you that.
Infinity's gonna get cancelled.
I don't know whether these
Dude.
I don't know whether these are like, clips for shorts or whether these are things I need to edit out so I don't get strikes.
The CIA has entered the
It'll be
chat, or FBI.
No, not
First
in my
Vice City
experience,
Insider, now
nothing
Infinity.
abhorrent has been said here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No babies were harmed in this episode.
I have been privy. I have been ground zero to people saying abhorrent things on the platform and getting away with it. I have gotten away with it. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the
yeah.
intro. That's the intro right there. No babies were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Or
All
were
right.
they?
Yeah. Okay, Bav.
I don't have my camera on.
What do you think the chances are that Jason and Lucia actually make it to the end of the story, buddy?
Look, I feel like their goal is to make a story that's better than Red Dead 2's. That's going to be difficult because that story's great. But I feel like for them to try and top it, it has to be an emotional story. And in emotional stories, people die. So, and the rumors of it being a Bonnie and Clyde type of story, they both die. If that is the case, then they could introduce 2 new characters and then have them continue the story in a DLC. I think that'd be cool. But at the same time, I feel like they might not actually kill off either character because Lucia is their first real female protagonist. So I feel like they're not going to want her to die. Like, that's Rockstar's golden child in a way. For Jason, I don't think they would want to deal with the backlash of killing him off and then leaving it up to a female protagonist. I have no issue with it, but a lot of people do. And I feel like Rockstar just don't want to listen to the woke mob coming at them for forcing us to play as a female character. I'm all for it, but I feel like they don't want to touch either character. So I'm in the middle.
Either way, if it makes for the better story, they will do it.
I hope.
Yeah,
that
I
they
agree.
Go with the story and not like listen to all those people. Just cancel them out.
So I have a theory, and I want to run it by you guys. And Bav, you probably heard this because you've been in my live streams. But what if Jason and Lucia die at the end of GTA 6, and then the camera like fades to black, and then all of a sudden, camera appears in the sky like that classic switching characters screen, and it shoots down through the clouds into like an apartment building. You see like a shadow on the wall of a figure walking into a bathroom, and then the camera pans over, and they're standing in front of a mirror, and that's the create a character screen, and then you get to create a character for like the rest of your story mode playthrough, and then you can take that same character into online, and it integrates seamlessly. So that would be like the seamless way to integrate online and story because you're playing as the same person. You know what I mean? And you can kind of jump back and forth between the two. What do you guys think about something like that?
It's
that's
a
a
brilliant
fantastic
innovation.
idea.
It's a brilliant idea. It's all like to integrate them two seamlessly. But with how scripted the story mode is going to be, it's going to be quite dialogue heavy. Even the side content, even the interactions, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to be impossible to have that and also have the online character sort of be the back end of this Bonnie and Clyde story, and then you've got the online open, because that factors people actually playing through the entire story to get to the online. It factors the fact that you've done everything as Jason and Lucia, even though you didn't know that the story was absolutely going to end at this point, and you wouldn't have an opportunity to do some of the deeper stuff. But I think it would be interesting if they did it, because it would imply that there's some continuity, and you wouldn't necessarily feel so disjointed seeing the place that you had this nice story in blown to bits by 12-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. The submarines and flying bikes and all sorts of stuff.
But I think they'll try and keep those modes separate because I think they're beneficial separately. However, I do reckon story-wise that sort of end point prior to the character creator and all of that stuff might be an interesting one for GTA, because it is they're basing it on Bonnie and Clyde, are they not?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the rumors were. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, maybe it'll end up a similar way.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll have a twist.
Bit,
What's that?
I'm sorry?
If your character is mute at the end, in the open world after the story, I think you'll miss something. You know what I mean? You've had this
you'll feel a bit.
lively Lucia and Jason thing, and you get attached to these characters. It's like in GTA 5, if you have ending C and you actually do kill yourself as Franklin, and then you have your online character, it would feel a little bit empty.
Yeah, it would
I think
be,
the solution to that is limited dialogue with voices.
Yeah,
it would be, but would that improve the rest of the game or make it worse?
Well, it depends on how they decide to do it. Like, for example, the biggest problem that I see with killing off Jason and Lucy at the end of the story is side quests, right? Because if you didn't finish all your side quests and the main story's over, now you're basically signing off that you're not doing side quests, unless they find a way to integrate that into like whatever playable protagonist, whether that's somebody else in the game that we take over, or or like the created character idea that I had. But I don't know. It may be a thing where it's like, okay, you've reached a point in the story. If you go any further, you're gonna miss content, which they've done in the past. So it's not like
they have to a lesser extent. There's content that's characters. Say, for instance, Red Dead Redemption 2. There's character-specific content for Arthur that if you don't do, the opportunity to do it goes with it. But that is very much so a drop in the ocean. And the world still has this this magnetic pull of you are playing as this character. This character speaks. This character engages with the world in a very similar way. For all intents and purposes, you are playing, while it is supposed to be John Marston, it's Arthur 2.0 with regards to the exploration.
Yeah.
And that
Even with the body model.
It had its flaws, but overall, that allowed there to be continuity despite the very absolute ending for the character. And I think that's important if you're going to be tackling like the death of the protagonist or protagonists, particularly to uphold the integrity of the story mode, because the story is only a fraction of that. The rest of it is the single player experience of being in this world, of seeing what's out there. And if there's as much interaction as we went over that random encounters of 1,200 things supposedly, if that's got any truth to it, you're not going to see a fraction of that
right
before the story's end. So you want to exist in this world for as long as possible, and that's ultimately what's going to make you yearn for more, is the fact that there are plenty of people who will do all that stuff, and that's where the online sees its benefit, because you introduce the online system after a month, 2 months, and people start playing that separately as its own thing. But that still carries the feel.
Yeah.
But the world is its own thing. When it's in the story mode, it is its own experience. I don't think they'll want to blend the two. As interesting an idea as it would be.
Yeah.
I think the cons probably outweigh the pros.
And that's kind of where I come back to every time, because like, man, as cool as that would be, and as like as big of a surprise as that would be, it's like, how do they, it presents a whole list of problems. It's like, how would they overcome all of those? So it'd be really interesting to see. But
if that's how the game ends, I'll drive up to Edinburgh and start backhanding people. I can't do it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. GTA Infinity, if you had the choice, would you rather start GTA 6 with a prologue heist gone bad, similar to we had in GTA 5, or jump in later on the timeline and learn what happened through story reveals?
Yeah, man. So in GTA 5, we've had the heist gone bad in the beginning, obviously. Then you had the mystery in Red Dead Redemption 2 of Blackwater, where I feel like the whole story mode, you don't really get to know what happened there, which is kind of a mystery.
It's by design
And
as well.
It's by design. So I think that's kind of interesting as well. I've always had kind of a whole different theory, which is a Liberty City Lucia prologue. And it does a couple of things. It gives like context to her character. It's never done before to see a protagonist be younger, right? Probably over 18. Let's not make it a baby in a strip club. And Rockstar can.
You might get your wish.
Trying to get kids.
You never know.
You never know, man.
Maybe today's the day Rockstar lose their minds.
Like, this is the last one. Screw it.
That Hauser is
Yeah,
gone, and like
leaves.
one writer is like, yeah, we
can finally do it.
But I also think with the whole Liberty City part is you don't have to build the whole city. You don't have to build the whole map. You just build a couple of streets, just like North Yankton, basically, right? And you tease basically the first map expansion DLC that will come out like a year later, where you see like, okay, we're in Liberty City now. We can actually do that. You know, we can actually go there later on, kind of just like Gloriana in the northern border.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that whatever they decide to do, it will make sense and it will be the right decision, or it won't be.
We'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yes, we need to cover all our bases.
Yeah.
I think things will happen.
There's a 100% chance something is going to happen.
Oh my God, no, you're joking, right? Something's going to happen.
Right.
Stop spoiling it.
We need the thumbnail with the arrows and the circles now.
I'm actually
Something
really
is going to
curious about-
happen in GTA 6.
We gotta, you gotta
It's
have
over.
you gotta have the caveat, the CYA clause at the end of your speculative videos.
The GTA 6 situation is insane.
I kind of
We've all
wonder
been-
what everybody's
It's got worse.
like. I kind of wonder what everybody's thing is that they think will happen in the prologue for GTA. I'm really curious.
That's an interesting one.
I hope it just starts in prison.
Yeah.
Get that out
I
of the way.
reckon there's a strong argument for starting in prison. Maybe they'll play around with flashbacks. They've never done that before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
true.
they could.
Because I've looked at what they've done, and you think, will they do something similar or something different?
I personally think the
That's the
story
question.
is going to start off with Lucia, that scene that we got in trailer 1 where Lucia is talking with the therapist. I think that's going
I
to be
reckon
like
that'll be the perfect beginning.
yeah, she'll be able to explain like, I've been in here for so long and I'm ready to do better, and like, then they release her, cut over to a Jason working on the roof or whatever it is that he's doing on his before he goes to pick her up from prison. I think we'll get, I don't know if there'll be like any gameplay in the prison. I think that's just kind of where the story cinematics will start up, but I don't know. It's interesting to think
I
about.
think if there's any gameplay, it'll be like someone knocks on the cell and it's like, get up, it's time you're getting out of here. And, you just walk. And it just introduces you to the opening mechanics.
It actually fits with, say, for instance, if you look at GTA 5 and you have all these establishing shots of the environment, and then it sort of focuses on somewhere, and a prison would probably be the perfect scenario for that. So it would probably make the most sense to start there. That doesn't mean that'll be the earliest point we see, I don't think.
True.
I mean, it could be. I don't know how Rockstar like to tell their stories. Maybe they're not a big fan of flashbacks. I mean, I understand it. They're quite sloppy, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know what also would be super cool? And this is maybe a very, very far-fetched theory, but the cop in trailer 3 trailer 2 where everybody's like, what the hell is this guy doing in the story? What's his part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It would be insane if you play as that guy, as that cop in the prologue, and your mission is to bust Lucia. Well, that sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
Lucia. Oh God.
But like that's
I think that's a great idea. I think busting Lucia is an excellent idea. Because
Of course, the VTuber would say that.
well, for two reasons. Because it's like you've got there's all the speculation on a third protagonist, right? And people are like, well, what if you're like a cop who's like chasing these two around? Well, my whole criticism with that is if you're doing that in the game, that's very not immersion breaking, but like it kind of takes away from the weight of the story, because then it's like, oh, I'm trying to capture him. Now I'm trying to get away, But if you're playing as only that cop during the prologue doing like a SWAT raid, then you're getting to meet the bad guy, through their perspective. And I think that would be a really cool way to do it. Busting Lucia. Yes.
Really interesting. And I gotta say, Infinity, I've got to have you back on more of these, buddy, because you are fantastic for sound bites.
You got so many intro options, man.
Oh God.
Dandy, if you joined a roleplay server in GTA 6, what career path would you take?
Oh man, there's so many options, man. I want to be one of the guys messing around with the alligators, man. I just want to get on one of those boats and go down. I don't know. Honestly, though, if I'm being for real, it would probably be cool if there was some sort of like assassination kind of thing, you know, something like that. I'm kind of boring. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of commenters on my videos actually, and they ask about getting a horse in the game. And it seems like a lot of people want to like play Red Dead Redemption in Grand Theft Auto. So especially with all the boonies and stuff. So I'm also kind of curious to see if we'll see something like that and have some cowboys, modern day cowboys and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's a million things. I'd like to try all sorts of stuff because really with the world they're building, I mean, you know, I said this in a video, it's like you don't need Skyrim anymore now that you have Red Dead Redemption 2. And I think like with and especially because it's from like 2011 with Grand Theft Auto 6, I mean, I don't think you're going to need a lot of games. I think it's going to answer or fulfill the needs that a lot of players have for what they're looking for in a game.
Well, and on that topic, like the UGC, I'm curious to see what you guys think about UGC. To me, it's like, you know, if they're comparing it and we're comparing it to Roblox and Fortnite Creative because we know that Rockstar reached out to Fortnite Creative and Roblox to talk to them about, you know, kind of their model and how they do things. But if we have like the ability to create like anything we want to within a Rockstar world, I mean, that's huge, right?
So good, man. Yeah.
It would be interesting, yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, because you could
Like,
create anything you wanted at that point. I mean, whether you're talking like a zombie survival horror adventure game or, you know, like whatever little silly experience you want to make, you could do it.
Oh man, that's going to be in the vanilla story, man. Just midway through Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah, you know, finally.
You heard it here first.
Undead Nightmare 2 came when we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Implemented in vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't even have to
you
make them
gotta
actual
imagine.
zombies. Just as, you know, it's the fentanyl epidemic down in.
Oh Lord.
They're all just buzzed. They're all just
Yeah.
off the face on Fent.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Either that or just
That's
like, you know,
Yeah,
like
that's the thing. That's the thing.
methamphetamine
People
up in
keep
northern
pondering
Florida.
over whether zombies are possible, and then people take fentanyl and prove that you don't need zombies. Oh
True.
God.
Bath
It's
salts.
wild.
Yeah, bath
because
salts.
Exactly.
bath salts. In terms of UGC, like, I don't know if you guys grew up with this, but I had this PlayStation game called Little Big Planet. It was one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
first kind of real UGC
Yeah.
games.
I
And
don't
now
have
you see
PSP.
Battlefield on the PSP. Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah.
racist one. that was
Was it?
a
Wait, what?
crazy game.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
that's-
hang on. What?
There's a whole
You're gonna have
lore
to-
about that. Yeah,
I'm,
you gotta
I'm sorry.
search it
I
up.
have to. Yeah, you can't leave me on that. You can't leave
Yeah,
me.
give him
on,
give him the
that's
sound bites. Let's go.
Well, I'm not gonna
What
get
do you
it.
mean it
Search
was
it,
racist?
search it up. No, because we're on Sav's channel. I can.
If Infinity is saying
But,
he can't say it, then it's probably pretty bad.
Oh yeah, no.
Get demonetized.
The thing that I was gonna
Racism.
go and talk about was like with Battlefield 6, you have the portal now, and they basically say, you know, use our assets that we've made. Imagine if they do that with the map creator in GTA 6, and you have all the assets that they made available, and whatever you use, you can just put everything together. The amount of wall textures and chairs and whatever random stuff you can pull from and do everything with, it's that would be so insane. If
Yeah.
you can make Disneyland with that. You know, might be in the game already, but you know what I mean. So it's
We'll make it for vibes.
yeah.
Oh, I am so dropping you a message later to find out what you mean. Little Big Planet.
I made a joke in one of my videos talking about UGC is and how like if they decide to do that and give us full control over everything, then basically we've become the creative directors for Grand Theft Auto 6 and online and whatever. Because at that point, like, what do they really have to do besides, you know, give us the controls, sit back and watch what we create, and then whatever really works, whatever people really gravitate to, then they just double down on those experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So at
they
that
could
point,
certainly use it as a testing ground
Yeah.
for ideas that people seem to gravitate towards, particularly if it's integrated into online, which I think is mostly where the benefit
Yeah.
of UGC is going to be seen, is what sort of modes, experiences, environments are people creating, and which are drawing in the most players, in a sense, and then they might create actual official experiences off the back of that.
Well, and
But
there's
Yeah.
precedent for it too, because like if you look at what they did with RP, I mean, they're looking at integrating RP into GTA 6 Online, because like when that came out for Grand Theft Auto Online, it like took off, and they fought it for years, and now they're like actually integrating it into the game. So they're, well, should be integrating it into the game, but you know, it's just like, I don't know, man, that's wild to me.
Well, they want this game, and I think from everything we've seen, I really think that this is something that they're obviously going to want to have last for it. Like, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. This is going to last at least 10, 15 years. They're going to really double down on how are we going to keep people playing this game and nothing else, you know? So why not? I mean, they've got the budget for it. You know, I think it's been loosely confirmed to be over $1 billion and speculated up to $2 billion. So the budget is bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Really, the sky's the limit. But from what I've noticed with Rockstar is they do typically seem to create like a big, elaborate, amazing game, drop it, and then just it's radio silence. And then they go to, you know, now GTA 5 Online. And then if there is a bug, like the 1 or 2 bugs you find, it's never going to be fixed. They're never going to add, you know, like single player DLC. So I don't know. I'm hoping this is going to be different than that. We're going to see the single player DLC. We're going to see all these new crazy things, you know, UGC, stuff like that.
Yeah, I sure
I
hope
think it's
so.
gonna be a no-brainer that it'll be in the game, because we've already had the races you can make and the survivals and stuff with GTA 5.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then they've been talking to Fortnite and Roblox, you know, so they are aware definitely of, and you have RP. RP, the crazy thing about RP, it's just a mod that a bunch of fans made. It's UGC illegally, basically, right? That they then were like, oh, we can make a lot of money with this. Let's not ban this, you know, and let's ban the Liberty City Preservation Project, you know, so because you can make money with RP. So I think that they're gonna go all in actually on RP. RP obviously, but UGC, and they're gonna do everything to give creators new tools and things to do, because then you have the community working for you.
Yeah.
Which the community already has been doing forever since any GTA came out with mods. You know,
I agree.
Battlefield 6's Portal. You know what they did? They made this software where you can do all sorts of stuff. You can make your own game modes, and people can make their own plug-ins for that software. So they're not even gonna make updates, adding new stuff to it. They're just gonna have the plugins in there that are user generated. So even the coding is user generated. So I think, yeah, I don't know if Rockstar wants to do that, because, you know, they want to keep it kind of in their own hands probably, but there's a lot of opportunity.
I think they're going to be very protective of what's going on under the hood so that other devs can't catch up, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the last question for Fizhy actually relates to UGC content. And, you know, if you had the ability to kind of like create any sort of game within a game or experience within a game or whatever, within like a Rockstar world, Fizhy, what would you create and why?
Well, I would hope the environments are nice and rich and potent, because that would then lend itself quite nicely to creating something like I like ambient horror for some reason. I don't like horror games. Jump scares ruin my day, but ambient horror I love. I can't get enough of. So I'd want to create something sort of akin to that, where you go through this thing and it's sort of designed to build tension. That would be very interesting for me. I am a niche market, but that is what I would do. I'd create something that scares the daylights out of me. Maybe fill it with esoteric creations from my mind. But I'm not really one for UGC, so it's interesting. Like, I'm entirely a story mode sort of person.
Sure.
I would like to see more video production tools within the game, because then I can really get those cinematic shots that I really like getting, and that would be me happy. But if I were to create something like an experience within the game, I would thoroughly dedicate my life to ensuring people poo themselves without anything happening. so that would be me.
Well, I think all of us can agree that, you know, it'd be really nice to have some, you know, cinematic tools to really make some cool experiences for
absolutely.
YouTube. I know Bogan will be super happy about that.
Yeah.
And Andy, I'm sure you will
the
too with your
Rockstar
video
editors are great.
experience.
Yeah.
So
The
Now I
Rockstar
don't have to go to
editor
no
is-
copyright gameplay anymore. You know, no, I'm just kidding.
all
The
right.
Rockstar editor is very handy.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
such a great tool, and it makes content creation so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
play your ambient horror level. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's
So
if
let me
I
know when
ever
it
make
drops.
one.
Well, when you
I
make it
am not,
fishy, let us know.
I am not declaring my competence on this, okay?
It's official.
It's official. Okay.
That's a community poster for you. You just put up a community post, say, hey, need some help making something like this. I'm sure you'll have plenty of volunteers.
Do you have constipation? Would you like a cure? We're making a cure.
That's an
together.
excellent slogan.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do some wish lists now. Bav, you gave us your wish list in the last episode. You are perfectly, if you're willing to share again for those that didn't watch the last episode, I'd be more than happy to hear them again. So I'm not going to share mine again. I just want to go ahead and let you guys share yours. So starting off with Bav, what would be your number 3 wish list item for GTA 6?
My number 3 would have to be customizable apartments in the online, like the ability to paint walls, change the flooring, buy furniture and move it all around. That way Rockstar don't have to pump out a bunch of different interiors. I'm sure that's probably not going to be a problem, but in GTA Online we've all got just a few interiors that we can have for our property, and everyone's got the exact same one. It doesn't feel unique. We can customize our character and our car, so I think it would be really cool to be able to do your apartment up as well. Buy furniture, move it around, make it your own space, really.
I love that idea. I really do.
Yeah.
And do you think that'll tie into the AI interior generated, patent that we know about? Do you think they'll sort of allow us to? It sounds like from the patent, and I'm not a super technical guy, but with my caveman brain trying to read through that stuff and understand it, it sounds like they're gonna like tag certain pieces of furniture and things with like different tags, like upscale, meth house. You can dream up all the different tags, right? And then they sort of like allow the AI to generate an apartment setup or a house setup based on the tags that it selects from that pool.
That would be cool as well. But for me, I just like to have like a list of every item that I can put in there, like 100 different couches, and just set it up differently. I think that would be really nice. I don't know too much about the generation sort of side of things, but yeah, having the personalization in there, I think would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe a mix,
Yeah, it could
like
be.
where because I think you have in the single player, at least, the way they make these hotel rooms or whatever with the AI generated stuff, which is also always tricky to talk about in videos because you don't want to make it seem like it's slop when you say AI, right? But yeah, you have these tags, and basically it determines where the objects are gonna be, so it doesn't generate the object themselves, right? And so maybe with online, what happens is you can have like an empty room and you can choose your couches or whatever, or it randomly generates the layout of everything, where the bed is and whatever, and then you can kind of select the bed and put it like a couple of meters or a couple of centimeters to the right or whatever, and you go from there.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Like have your base like preset list based on whatever the generation is, and then you can go in and further customize it. I think that'd be cool.
It'd be really neat.
That's true. Because the only time you could, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the only time you could have just like generation of like from a seed is in an instance or in single player. So like that's why I think they're going to have seeds that'll have like predetermined, like if you play Starfield and we land on the exact same spot, we're going to have the exact same surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're going to have to do in order for it to work with online. But I love the idea of like, if you have an instanced area, like an apartment, it could be randomly generated, or maybe you can just choose whatever the hell you want and move it all around. I don't know.
Well, it'd give you more of a reason to like invite people over to check out your pad, right? You're like, you could show it off and be like,
for sure,
look what I did, look what I created. Like this is, it's more your personal touch and less like automatically generated interiors. So I definitely love that idea, Bav. Infinity, what's your number 3?
So for me, it's gonna be weird because of what we've been talking about and the weird stuff. But like in the open world and missions, I want to be able to ask like, can I do this? And then you actually are able to do the thing, right? And I'm not talking about the whole babies. But it's more like I was talking about I was talking with Project Vice on his live stream in the chat. I was just chilling and I was like, could you go to the gym in Vice City, and then if an NPC is bench pressing, do you think we can just yeet that NPC off of the bench press, just like you yeet somebody out of a car, right? And then just start driving, or like tying somebody up. We know from the leaks that that's possible if it's not removed from the game at the time. And you open the trunk and you put them next to the alligator that you put in there earlier, and then you close it, and then you hear, oh, can you do that? Like, don't I want to be able to actually experiment with doing weird stuff. And on YouTube there's a lot of these like 1-minute videos, and the title of it is like, the devs actually thought about this. The devs actually knew the player was gonna do this, right? And so I would just love if the open world would have as much of that stuff as possible.
Yeah, well, we know Rockstar's attention to detail is, nobody comes close. I mean, shrinking horse testicles, sheep, like the sheep or goats or whatever walking up to the water and drinking, and their tongue actually goes down into the water. I mean, like, it's crazy the amount of detail that they put into this game. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff that we're like, oh my gosh, you can actually do this. It's amazing. So
it's funny. It's funny that it's a fantastic accomplishment, and it's really funny that everyone always goes to the horse testicles.
Well, it's because it's like, why those of all the things, but here we are impressed 7 years later.
Of all things to detail, these horses' bollocks will shrink.
If anybody was going to do it, Rockstar,
laughing his ass off for the rest of his life.
Yeah, whoever did that was an evil genius.
Oh yeah,
whoever went, I'm making these horse balls shrink.
Hopefully that wasn't a Dan
It was the
Houser
ultimately
decision.
marketing tool.
It is. That should have been the entire marketing, is just footage, time-lapse footage of the horse's testicles shrinking. And
I could just
growing.
see like a quick zoom, like right up on the horse nuts.
With the house building theme over it.
Yeah.
With the
Like
house
the
building
third-
song over it. Yeah.
The second gameplay trailer of GTA 6 is like the woman saying like, yeah, when you go to the club as Jason and you see a hot chick, you can see his bulge like growing.
Oh god.
Oh, no, when it gets cold.
Oh man.
Maybe not an idea to exist simultaneously alongside that baby suggestion from earlier, but
I know.
tremendous.
Hot takes from GTA Infinity.
Well, we know there's going to be new sweat physics, so
Yeah, that's
just
true.
saying.
Oh,
It's humid there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is. Never been, but I bet it is.
All right, Dandy, what's your number 3?
All right, so my bad. So is this like we're working 3, 2, 1?
Yeah,
So I give
yeah.
you the third one first? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna be the most boring, basic person here. An amazing story.
That's not boring.
I just want a really good story,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I want the story to freaking rock. Like, look, I don't know what y'all's opinion is on Grand Theft Auto 5, and a lot of people disagree with me. I just did not like it. Like, I came from 4, and I wanted more of that. And then Trevor yeets Johnny, and I'm just like, man, come on. And I understand it was for shock value and stuff, but 5, it just felt so like nihilistic and just, I don't know, it felt horrible. It seemed like with how they were doing the soundtrack and everything and the loading screens, and it created this feeling of like this total, and like with the little like Illuminati like stuff and everything they had in there, had this whole like feeling of like just total money worship and like what people will do to attain it. And it seemed like the substance was there for, that. So, but overall, I want to care about these characters because I couldn't relate really to Michael Franklin or Trevor.
Yeah.
So I want to relate to Jason, and I know I can relate to people who've had radically different experiences than me because I could relate to Nico, and I definitely, I'm not a combat vet or anything like that. So it would be nice to see a blend of those two tones to where, we have fun in Vice City. But then when things get bad, they get bad.
Well, Rockstar, if you think about it, they've always created like relatable characters living in a satirical world. And I think with GTA 5, they made the main characters a little too satirical, right? They took Trevor being a crazy guy, took that to the extreme. And they took Michael being like a middle-aged man going through like midlife crisis, took that to the extreme. And then Franklin was actually probably the most normal out of the three of them.
Franklin's just confused by the entire world he's in, though.
Yeah.
So
He's like, "What's going on, man?"
So while Franklin was quite rational, really, he didn't fit in the world because the world was just utterly bonkers because it's full of characters you can't really relate to.
Yeah.
Because that would be weird. And he's
like,
supposed to be your anchor. He's the character. He's the character that sort of goes, what? You know, the main protagonist, if you will. And you see that in almost every Rockstar game that has this heavy satire. Is the protagonist is usually very confused by events as they occur because that's just sort of how the parody is thrown in. And GTA 5 was very intense with it.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
There's a huge drop, Franklin.
I don't mind a satirical world with lots of parody and stuff like that.
Well, it
but
has
give
to
us
be
more
satirical.
Yeah, give us grounded characters though. Give us characters that we can relate to and enjoy and get to know and all that. And it's not like, oh, well, that's weird, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone we've seen, that's the case. You know, you see in Trailer 1 that all the weird social media characters are like Florida Man and Joker and all those crazy things. But what we've seen from Jason and Lucia isn't that wild or like out there in terms of.
No, I'm confident
character.
that that's going to be good. I'm confident their relationship's going to be good because I mean, you could see in the trailers if you like the stills. I'm sure we've all gone like frame by frame, but like the facial expressions Lucia makes and stuff like that with Jason reminds me of, you know, relationships I've been in, and like there's a lot of emotion in the expression on her face. So I know there's a bunch of guys out there like, oh, the game's woke because there's a female character, but no, it seems like they're handling this like there's just a woman now, you know.
It's such a funny thing that's such a funny thing because if you look at the definition of the word woke and you look at GTA, you couldn't name a woker franchise.
Exactly. It's like, did we not play the same Grand Theft Auto 4? Like, did you guys not listen to the radio in Grand Theft Auto 4? I mean, Republican Space Rangers. Come on, like.
It's got to be aware of what it's making fun of, you know, and it'll punch in every direction.
that's exactly right. Yeah. And that's why it's so well appreciated across the spectrum of different personalities and gamers because they, like you said, they'll punch in any direction. They'll hit anybody and they'll make fun of anything. And that's why it feels fair, right? You know, so it's not like whatever you identify with or identify as or whatever, you don't feel like you're being targeted or whatever because, you know, there are other people taking the same punches. So I appreciate
because you'll have your Republican Space Rangers and then you'll have like your NPR and then it's like making fun of the total opposite side of the political spectrum, you know. So it does parody absolutely everything.
That's exactly right.
It is mocking the society rather than opinions.
Yes.
So
right.
It's always mocking
it's not citing
with, as much as it's mocking you too.
Yeah. So if anybody out there is worried about being woke, it'll be as woke as it is anti-woke. So,
that's a good way of putting it.
Summarized.
They showed that in the Russia screenshot, you know, where you have the billboard of the diversity cookies with the rainbow.
There you go.
That's screenshot, and then at the left side you had that's the left wing, and then at the left side of the screenshot you see the mayor was probably like a right wing guy or whatever in the lore of GTA. So there is going to be a moment in the story where they are going to have political identities clashing with each other, but that's the NPCs that's in the lore of GTA, and they've always made a point to say, hey, this is GTA land, okay? This is not real life. We're making fun of real life, but we're you know what I mean. So I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I think the jiggle physics also kind of shows that they're not afraid to just be Rockstar.
Yeah.
They made a point to make Jason and Lucia hot, you know.
Jason is so hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's my freebie, man. You know, he's the only one. Him and Idris Elba. That's it.
It's funny because, all the girlfriends and wives are probably worried about Lucia being a playable protagonist, but we're all going to be running around as Jason with his shirt off, dreaming about what it could be like if we were in his shoes.
Exactly. I'm going to get him as sweaty as possible.
Dude's freaking jacked. All right, Fishy, what's your number 3?
My number 3, it's slightly less interesting than everyone else, and I also think my list is a bit of a given, but I want to throw this one out there. It's on the topic of pacing. So I was hoping for slight narrative pacing, slower than GTA 5, but faster than Red Dead Redemption 2, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think 5 I think it carries over from the previous point about 5 being a little bit lacking in the connection department, and I think if they went full Red Dead Redemption 2, it would be equally jarring because that would deprive you of the experience of firing rocket launchers at the nearest bus. So I think to find a nice middle ground, because obviously they'll be taken from all their previous work to try and get what will work best. They'll look at what they've done in the past, and they've obviously evaluated that. So what I would like to see is something that goes through the story in a much more measured way than GTA does, that just feels like end-to-end carnage. GTA 5 specifically, not necessarily 4. That one did okay, but not go the whole hog of Red Dead Redemption 2's 2 hours and you're finally out of the prologue, and then you have a prologue to everything beyond that. You have a tutorial to doing certain things thereafter, and you're only really familiar with the game after about 10 hours of playing. I think that would be overboard. But a nice measured pace is what I'm after.
That's been the prologue for Red Dead Redemption 2 is the main reason that I don't replay that game often.
I replay that game quite a lot. I love it, but I don't think it would work for GTA.
Yeah,
because
GTA's got a bigger audience than Red Dead as well. Like a lot of younger people that aren't there for the story. So if you do have a slow start to it, a lot of people will just give it a miss. Because there's people out there that gave up Red Dead 2 just because of how slow the pacing was at the beginning.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would be slow paced because it's a Western, isn't it? So they're always very measured.
I had no issue with it. I thought it was great, and
I thought it was a fantastic intro. I thought it was fantastic for Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
So
there you go.
I loved how it started. Like how they introduced the characters in the gang and the story aspect of them on the run in the mountains and the blizzard and all of that. I loved the scene where we meet Sadie and all that. I thought all that was fantastic. What got frustrating for me is once I played through the prologue and I'm moving on to the story and all that's fun. The second, the third, the fourth time I go back to play the game and I've got to play through that same prologue and it takes an hour or two to kind of get through. That's where I get frustrated. I'm all right, I've already done this so many times. I want to get into the running around and running into Valentine, shooting up the town and all that. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to
it could be as simple. It could be as simple as just adding an option of just starting in chapter 2. There's a lot of games out there. There's skip the prologue after you've beaten the game.
Absolutely. So you can just bang a save as early in chapter 2 as possible, and then treat that save as sacred.
Yes.
There are loads of ways to get through not liking the prologue to Red Dead Redemption 2. I think the prologue is brilliant, and the story needs it because it is where it establishes its central mystery.
Still, they struggle at the start.
Yeah.
Also, seeing John with the scars, finding him that way, and learning how he got them. Come on, that was awesome.
Bloody good.
I know I got to go looking for John. I knew he'd do the same for me. That from Javier Escuela. Come on, that was awesome. I don't know. I'm a huge Red Dead fanboy, though.
Yeah.
Funny you should mention that, Javier. Oh god, it's a brilliant introduction in my opinion, but it would not work for Grand Theft Auto because I think a lot of people will want to get through an opening as quickly as possible, get familiar with the gameplay, run out into the world and find something innocent to kill, and I don't think you should be holding people back from that fantasy because it's a very different audience when you look at the size of it. Red Dead sort of fits into the Grand Theft Auto audience quite nicely, but the other way, the opposite, isn't always true. So I thought I'd go with discussing the pacing because it's something that a lot of people criticized about Red Dead Redemption 2, and you can see why from a mile away, however good it is. But while it's not an issue I take with that game, it would be an issue I'd take with GTA if they went, let's do 3 hours of prologue before we unleash you on the world.
Right.
I would tear my hair. I would tear what's left of my hair out.
All right, Bav, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is live events. Now, I don't think they need to be as crazy as Fortnite, but I think it would be cool to have live events in the online portion of the game, such as concerts, festivals. Boxing matches would also be an interesting one. They just randomly have them pop up on the map. You can go in there and watch it, or there's little activities that you can do around the arena. Another one would be with the Miami GP, but have a Florida GP. No, not Florida. Leonida GP. That would be cool. I seen a Hitman mission is set around that, and then I seen that. That should be in GTA 6. That'd be so cool. Just to rock
One of
up.
my
You can.
favorite missions in Hitman as well.
You talk about
I need to get
like
on
Grand
it.
Prix? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I reckon that would be cool. You can rock up, you can watch the race, or you can go and do a bunch of like side missions that are around, and they're limited time, so you can only do them for like the week that the race is there. And then after that, that race is done, that live event's finished, and then story progresses. Well, not story because it's online, but then they just introduce random ones. They could even do the weather system in there with floods. So Rockstar will put out a tweet or something, or the in-game radio will be like, there's a hurricane warning, it's going to be coming next week or something. And then
Oh, that's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Great
a slow
idea.
build up to it. I think a slow build up to it. People are starting to sandbag areas. The map's slowly changing. I think that'd be cool. They done it with the casino.
Would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, they done it with the casino, like putting the construction around that before they actually dropped that DLC. So doing that with the weather would be cool. Then the hurricane comes, the map's flooded. I think it'd be a cool feature, but it could also be seen as insensitive if they do it and then a real life hurricane occurs. So I don't know. I think that'd be really cool personally. Live events, but scaled down from Fortnite a little bit.
That's actually brilliant. I really love that. And it also brings people, it gives people to come back. It gives people a reason to come back and play if they've stepped away from the game for whatever crazy reason. Yeah, I think that's really good. Man, you're 2 for 2 so far, Bav. I love these ideas.
Let's go.
Infinity, what's your number 2?
I wrote one down, but it's boring, so I'm gonna do another one. It's because it was like, I want world events to be balanced, but it's boring. So I would love to have a different chapter in the game, because I think Game Roll had one leak where he said it's going to be a couple of chapters instead of like the normal just missions. But I would love one chapter that drastically changes the existing map. So for example, there's all these weather mechanic rumors and stuff, and I would just love for Vice City to be like flooded or something, where it's like not totally flooded, but just like lower than the knees, right? When you where there's water and you have to kind of
Just in a
deal with
big
that.
puddle.
A big puddle, yeah, because that would be super fun. Because
It would be good.
imagine driving in there, and you can just you can get a jet ski and you can just go to downtown because everything is water,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
changes the whole thing. And it might be far fetched, but something like that. It's like a map changing thing that just feels kind of special. That's what I would love.
Exactly. I
That's
think
a
that would
great
be
idea.
really cool. Having bits of the map flood, and then it would change up the way you do missions as well. Instead of like going from point A to point B the exact same way every single time, just grinding that, the map floods, and then you've now got to factor that into your travel. I think that'd be really cool. Good way to change it up.
And the reason why I say that that's a specific chapter is because you might completely break the game if you do it randomly on and off, right? So you have to
Right.
design missions around that specific change of the map in order to make it make sense.
Mm-hmm. I think anything
No,
that
one
they
of you
can do
mentioned-
to
I'm sorry.
no, you're good. I'll just say this real quick, and I think anything that they can do to like throw a wrench into our plan and like make us switch it up on the fly is good for dynamic gameplay. What were you gonna say, Andy?
Well, I was just going to say earlier, one of y'all mentioned it, like the hurricanes that might like come off as insensitive and stuff like that. But like another cool thing that they could do during this potential hurricane chapter is like, there's going to be a bunch of people who need help. Red Dead gave you the option of helping people. So maybe, there's some people you can help out, stuff like that. Good karma kind of stuff. Improve your relationship with Lucia. Yeah.
Don't cheat people.
That's true.
Go to the strip club, save the babies.
Kill the clowns.
Yeah.
Oh my
all
God,
of
dude,
the
I'm
above.
still tripping over that.
With zombies.
All right, Dandy, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is tactical hardcore gunplay. So I would love, let's not turn the game into Ready or Not, but I mean, if they did, I wouldn't be complaining. But I just think more stuff with okay, look, if you shoot a gun in 4, it kind of, there's like a reticle bloom, and I know that drives a lot of people nuts, but I like there being a little bit of randomness when you're shooting, a little bit of an accuracy, because, I shoot in real life. So, bullets travel differently, and also your aim could sometimes be off just a hair changes the trajectory of the bullet dramatically. So in 5, it felt too like laser pinpoint accurate for my taste, and it felt like the guns didn't have like a lot of impact or weight, and when you fired a machine gun, it was kind of like, and that's about it. I want the guns to have punch, a lot of vibration, like Last of Us. I think that's a good example of how I like the combat. So I think less people were killing, so we're not like killing like a whole army defending the Alamo basically with Lamar at the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 5, but like doing more like less people, you could take more damage. You could also dish more damage and, just make it feel more visceral.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And one of the things that was on my wish list, was the sound effects and like overall like effects for like shooting guns and cars and all that. So anything they can do to like make it more realistic feeling and more immersive is good, up to and including like the way the gun sounds when it goes off in your hand, making it sound more weighty, because there's a lot of room for improvement with GTA 5's weapons and overall gunplay system. So I agree with you completely there. But anything that they can do that's going to make it more immersive and make it feel more weighty and meaty, and just the way that the bullet impacts people and how they respond to it and stumble, I think would be a huge win. So I'm with you on that.
And hopefully we get the gore from Red Dead Redemption 2, which I don't know if we will in the modern world, given the stuff that's going on in the United States and the game taking place here, but with the shootings and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get you demonetized.
No, you're good. I had somebody in one of my live streams yesterday. He popped up and he's like, "How do you think the gore system will work in GTA 6?" And I'm like, "Well, I think it's going to be probably somewhere between GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. And he's like, "Well, specifically, how do you think it'll work with like, say, driving a trash truck down the beach?" And I'm like, "What?"
What?
Well, you can do that, right? That's like normal.
No, you're going to be able to do it, but
Do that.
Like,
oh god.
somebody need to check on this guy.
Well, to be for real though, the bodies are probably going to get pressed into the sand like how they do the mud. God, that's brutal to think about. Sorry.
Can I just add, that I really dislike that the weapon wheel in GTA 5 and RDR2 just covers the entire screen. 'Cause
Yeah.
every time I like record gameplay and I watch back the video and you see me switch to a different weapon, it's so annoying to me because it really distracts from the gameplay. I love how they do it in The Last of Us 2, where it's just kind of to the side, But yeah, in GTA 4 you didn't have any of that. You just pushed one button and it goes to the next gun, right? But I understand there needs to be a
Did
weapon
you
wheel.
did you see the alpha footage for the weapon system? I know it's like in its infancy, but did you see how they had it? It looks like basically you could see the character in the screen, and it's kind of like not like kind of a rough circle around them. Really, like it was just squares around them because it's the alpha stuff, but it seems like they are trying to be less intrusive on the screen while still providing that flexibility. But I agree with you, man. I prefer the old style.
Anything they could do to minimize the amount of AI or UI we have on screen is I think a win.
100%.
Okay, Fizhy, what's your number 2?
Well, with regards to mission design, like the mission design, the mission layout, I've always found that Rockstar games have been very restrictive. Like, so you have to do things as the game says, when the game says, or you'll get a very elaborate fail message. Yeah. I'd rather the efforts go towards allowing for you to sort of have some variance in the gameplay part of the game. So I'd like to see less hand-holding. I understand the need for some of it in Rockstar games, but I would like to see less of it. I'd like to see more agency to go and sort of take an objective how you want. You started to see bits of it, I think, with Red Dead Redemption 2, that they wanted to provide that, but it became binary options and things like that. And I'd like to see them expand upon that, and then you won't get ridiculous fail messages for doing stupid things in missions necessarily. Because if you look at some of the most ridiculous fail messages in GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, there are some crazy things that crop up that fail you. And it will tell you what's failed you. And you look at that and you go, what? I think my favourite, this one's probably one of the more fair cop fails, where it fails you because you've sort of buggered it. But there's a truck that you have to steal at some point, and if you get it stuck, it'll fail and tell you the truck is stuck, and that has burned into my head. The truck is stuck. But a lot of effort goes into the fail messages, but I'd like to see some effort go into accounting for variety in people actually taking control of the game. So I'd like to see a bit less hand-holding. It's time to provide the player with more avenues for certain aspects and a less intense. If you don't stick to what we're telling you to do, you're gonna get a fail message and it's gonna be funny. I'd rather have less of that and more just of an experience.
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
I think it'd be really good to
completely agree.
give the player more freedom with how they do the missions, and it will add to the replayability as well. So when you replay the story, you're not doing it the exact same way every single time.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I think would be handy on the front of replay value. It's certainly
Absolutely.
something, but it's more so in the moment because of how it's strung. No matter how familiar you are with GTA, with Rockstar games, you are going to run afoul of one of those fail messages eventually, because while it spells it out to you, the fail parameters can be literally just off your frame, or it can literally just be you stop for a second, and while those are extreme examples, and usually it's you have to just try something else, which requires more steps. I think it should be less penalizing for trying something else and actually try and integrate it more into what's going on, because that's ultimately going to result in a more enjoyable gameplay loop than just doing what the game tells you
For sure.
repeatedly until it stops telling you to do things,
Yeah.
and then finding where it starts telling you to do things again.
Yeah.
Have you ever failed a mission trying to flank an enemy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it drives me
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna get the
Stuff like
jump on him. Mission failed. Yeah, didn't use your turn signal.
You got too far away from the target.
I'm gonna be practical. I'm gonna be practical. Mission failed. You were practical.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You thought about this logically. That was your first mistake.
Drives me
Yeah, no,
nuts.
that's something that
True.
It does drive me insane with how Rockstar Games missions have sort of been constructed over the years, and I'd like to see them break from that and start to account for the player doing things. I think it's less of a given than my last one, but I do think that there were obvious declarations of intention in how Red Dead Redemption 2 did give you options at certain points, and how GTA 5 also at certain intervals, more than anything, gave you some ability to vary not what happens, but your choices in certain ways. So I think there's an evolution there, and it's time to see that actually come to fruition, rather than have that just be existing at the fringe of what feels like a very I wouldn't say dated, but it's certainly a very hovering mission structure. So
Yeah.
that's my number 2.
That's a good one. Bav, you're 2 for 2 so far.
Okay.
Let's see if you can go 3 for 3. What's your number 1, buddy?
I feel like I'm going to let you down with this one, but number 1 for me is reworked businesses with a stronger emphasis on crew-based gameplay. So this is for the online. Currently, all of the businesses are ran through either a CEO or an MC, but I think they are neglecting the crew feature in the game. It serves like no purpose essentially. But I'd like to see them bring it back, and as a crew leader, you go out, you buy your warehouse, you buy a HQ. I think they should have a crew headquarters where it's available to anyone in your crew across any session. So people can go to the HQ, they can launch missions from there, they can start to stock the warehouses for you while you're not playing. Like an actual crew leader, you've got your little grunts that go out there and do the work for you, and then at the end you can choose to sell it, and they will all get a commission based on how much they contributed to the business. I think that would be really cool to be able to bring everyone in to be able to work together, because currently, if you want to fill up a warehouse, like with your crew, they have to wait for you to be online. Whereas I feel like it could just be a huge group experience where you got people going out, filling it up. They get a percentage for like everything they bring back to the warehouse, they'll get payment from that. So there's an incentive for them to want to be able to fill it. And then, when you sell it, everyone gets a commission.
Yeah, well, it also give you an incentive system to work your way up from the bottom too. Like the person that puts in more effort, even when the boss isn't around, find their way quicker up the ladder. That's a good idea.
I think that would be kind of cool.
I don't know. I think that's 3 for 3, buddy. Good job.
Let's go. Thank you.
Infinity, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is new maps being introduced with a single player story DLC. So
Story DLC.
yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
What's
let me
that?
explain this one, right?
The unholy words.
Yeah, unholy words. They tried it and they weren't happy with how it came about, or with the numbers, the money stuff. But basically, you give the people the best of both worlds. So let's say Las Venturas, right? You introduce Las Venturas with the story. You make it like because they love money, $20-$30 single player story, and after a month you just put it online. That's the thing with the Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and Damned. What basically happened is you didn't really have anything other than the story itself that was new, but now you do have a new map for GTA 6 that you can then put in online. The new map is great for GTA Online missions, and new characters to be introduced. It's great for roleplay, allowing new servers to be made, which makes them more money. And a story is always the way that Rockstar introduced a new map, right? Sounds kind of really logical, but you don't just introduce a map, you introduce the culture within the map, the vibe within the map, the mindset of the NPCs and the people, and the attitude and the possibilities of the map, the new vehicles and the new items. All of that needs to have a proper introduction. And the story DLC is basically just a multi-hour emotional tutorial to do all that stuff, right? So I think that that's the way they should go if they're gonna do new maps. I think it's almost, as a fan for me, to obligate them to do it that way, because you're not gonna just drop a new map and then you have online and that's it. I feel like you need to have a proper introduction for the map, and yeah, that's what I would love for them to do.
Yeah, I think that's good. I am with you 100% on that. Does anybody else have anything you wanted to add to that before we go on to the last one?
I would love to see more maps.
I would certainly be interested to see it. I'm not optimistic for it, but I would love that idea, particularly if these new maps, they came to story mode and they came with their own stories, and those environments were packed to the brim with stuff as well. That would be absolutely phenomenal. It would be like a dream come true. It's a great suggestion. I wouldn't
whether or not they
lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but I would absolutely love to see it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we're more likely to see the return of like older maps, just with updated textures and all that kind of stuff, and online as DLC over time. Just you can expand your businesses in other locations, use airports, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as single player, I don't know.
For new maps and remastering it, you only really have two maps you can remaster, right? You have Los Santos and Liberty City, and then the rest is basically something they need to build. And I even
From the
feel
ground
like,
up,
for Liberty City, that's so outdated in terms of graphics. They might use the layout maybe, but they will have to just completely build that up from zero, right? And with Los Santos, you might be able to port it into GTA 6, but I don't know if they would really want to do that. It's the easiest way for them. GTA 5 is the closest GTA to GTA 6, obviously, but yeah, I think they will kind of make it a completely new thing with the new graphics and all that type of stuff.
I personally think we're more likely to get little map additions to the Leonida area, and like maybe little islands or something that get dropped into the ocean. And maybe if it does end up being like connected to a larger landmass, then maybe they sort of move that border up, and then they release some new area that you have access to, and then you play that for a while, and then if another DLC comes out down the road, they move the border again, you know what I mean, and slowly grow the map in that direction. But I don't know.
Push it up and out. It's certainly possible. I think the strongest argument you have for them doing something like that is how long it will take for the next GTA after this one. Like, it's going to be a long time. So that now that I don't think when GTA 5 released, Rockstar had this realization that it would take them well over a decade to get around to GTA 6. So now they'll be planning with the 15-20 year wait in mind. So who knows what that means with regards to what they're doing. Yeah, who knows what that means with regards to how they look at expanding the experience, if they do. You'd hope so, because it's a very long time. But they'll certainly prioritize whatever they do. They'll prioritize their online unless it crashes and burns. Which I don't suspect will happen, but you never know. You never know. It could happen. They could absolutely pull a worldie, and we'll never see it coming, because we've built up this impression based on their sort of disregard of story expansions if they go that route. But certainly in the online, you'll see stuff like that, I suspect, because you saw it to a limited capacity in GTA 5, didn't you? With like the Cayo Perico and. I don't know. I'm not a GTA Online player, but I'm quite certain that's one sort of like little area. So they did add that sort of. So you'd think they'd want to build on the idea that they've already got.
Yeah.
So at the very least, you'll get some sort of map expansions or new areas in online.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
and
whatever keeps people playing.
Games as a service becomes more and more popular. You know, I think that's kind of the direction that they're trending with this too. You know, if they create create like a good foundation for this game, they won't need to create another GTA for another 15, 20 years, you know? So
Yeah, it'll be a
That's
new
the whole
MMO
basis.
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole basis that I'm kind of relying on, is that they're gonna make this a 20-year game, and so they wanna introduce new maps, and that's gonna make players want to come back. You know, if they just
Yeah.
skip a couple of years, you know, those players, and that's why I think especially the story, it doesn't have to be long, right? It can be like Battle of Gay Tony, which is my favorite GTA, by the way, because I love it. But yeah, I just think it makes sense if you're gonna have a whole map that's made, that you introduce it properly. I would think it's weird if you just plop your GTA Online character in there and you just kind of, I don't know. It's like there's no introduction to this. You just
Yes, where's
there.
the soul in it, sort of thing. You want to have
Yeah.
that transaction where you come to understand the environment you're in, and that's what ultimately makes it appealing, even in absence of all the things that made it appeal to you to begin with. I certainly think that whatever Rockstar do with that, GTA 6 is likely to be a license to print money for as long as they need it to be.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily think they're particularly worried that if they do the wrong thing, it won't necessarily pan out.
Yeah.
But I would love to see them actually introduce new areas and give it a storyline that is separate from the online, because
And that new
would be
design
great.
philosophy. I'm sorry.
Go on. You probably
No,
got
I'm
a more
sorry.
advanced point of view.
Oh no, I'm half asleep, so I got up super early. But I'm saying the design
too, man.
philosophy could be why. Yeah. See, what time is it where you're at, by the way?
The middle of it's 3 in the afternoon, so I don't have any excuse.
oh,
but
Lord.
I am half.
I think it's crazy we're on these different time zones. But I was saying, like, maybe, you know, this new design philosophy, like milking it for as long as possible, and like, hey, you know, just game service, we're going to constantly update it and update it. It could be why we saw some of the, you know, founding fathers of this kind of stuff, you know, part ways. They wanted to go and create new projects and such.
Probably. Yeah, that might actually be the straw that broke the camel's back for Dan Houser wanting to leave.
It's also they'll either leave one at a time or they'll leave all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to be better for the long-term future of Rockstar is to leave one at a time. That way Rockstar continues as well.
That's true.
I think there's certainly a lot of that goes with it, because a lot of the people who are at Rockstar in the senior positions, they have been there a very long time now.
Yep.
Eventually, if Rockstar Games is going to continue, somebody else is going to have to take charge.
That's true.
And you'd prefer that turnover occurs one at a time with respect to how their games are made over all at once, which could see it come tumbling down, unfortunately.
It's actually a really good point.
So I think that's sort of why you're seeing this divergence and sort of people move on. Games industry's got ridiculously high turnover anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I think there's certainly an element of we're either going to go all at once or we're going to go one at a time.
Yeah.
What's going to be better for the long-term future, I suppose? Because a lot of these people, they don't necessarily have to worry about that, do they?
That's right.
But I suppose it boils down to, am I looking too far into this? Maybe, but that's how I view it.
Maybe they'll release it and say, "Don't fear the Reaper," and all drink the Kool-Aid together. You know. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Fair enough. Well, I've got 2 more questions. One for Dandy. What is your number one wish list item, Danny?
All right, immersion elements. Now, I think it's no surprise that we're going to be showering in this game. You see it in the trailers. There's sweat and mud and all this stuff. You're going to be able to get freaking filthy. So there's going to be bathing, whether people want it or not. You're going to be able to hop in the shower, like in Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. What were you going to say? Yeah, it looks like it'll be like a quick thing instead of like spam A, spam B. You know, I don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll be hop in, hop out, that kind of thing.
I hated the bathing minigame in
have a rubber
RDR2.
ducky.
Aggressive scrub.
I found it strangely addicting, but anytime that chick was like, "Need any help?" I was like, "Go away! You're like making this take longer than it needs to." But something I did like about Red Dead 2 is like rolling into a new town, and then you could go grab a bite to eat, and the food was different, like that you could choose from, and it would, you know, give you a huge core buff. I like in my games being able to sit down and like drink in the world around me before I go off and do the crazy stuff. So in like Cyberpunk, I got a bunch of mods, and Red Dead 2 got a bunch of mods, even Grand Theft Auto 4. So like in all of those games, I can smoke a cigarette and take as long as I want. I could sit down anywhere, or I can lean on a rail. I like the ability to be able to go in and, you know, like have my character exist and live and occupy the environments of the world that's been built because it adds stuff narratively. Because when you have emergent kind of things happen around you, like, oh, what's going on outside? You know, you get up from that booth in the diner, you go out there, and then you're like, oh, hey, it's that, you know, that's that guy that I owe money to, or it's a hit squad or something like that. You know, it kind of creates more of like a movie kind of feeling to everything you do, or like a TV show thing. So I think people who kind of knock on those role play elements, they don't understand that it's not that I want to be that character and live as that character. I don't want to be getting shot at 24/7, but I think it does a good job of setting up scenes that weren't, you know, allowing you to direct your own story.
You want to be consistently convinced by the character, is what you're saying, I assume. So you want, when you're in gameplay, you want to still feel like you are that character. You're not now just you occupying a meat sack that looks like them in between cutscenes. Because I know exactly what you mean with respect to that. And while it's important to not necessarily force people to do 2 hours of immersion features between main story missions, I also think there's a huge benefit in having them, because that's what allows the experience to feel cohesive.
Yeah, just allow it to be optional. You don't have to go order food and sit down at a booth. You don't have to do that, but you can. You know, stuff like that.
You can, exactly. And that allows the slow, deliberate sort of cutscene where the character is moving in a very particular way to, if you want it to, match how you play the game, as opposed to just randomly running around with a rocket launcher you pulled out your pocket and just shooting at random taxis because they're there.
Right, that way you'll be spamming A to hold Lucia's hair back while she throws up after a night at the club. You know, stuff like that.
Where you going with
that one? It's okay, babe, to get it all in the toilet.
I thought he was going to say something else.
Yeah,
I honestly thought you were going to say something else.
I'm very grateful.
No.
He didn't say something else. I hope this is
let's be real. The hot coffee mods are coming, whether you want it or not. It's coming.
Yeah, I'm
100%.
sure.
I'm excited.
No,
The jiggle physics are too extreme.
All right, Fishy, what's your number
Hot
one?
coffee will win. Oh God! You see, what I was thinking was one thing that I really loved as a content creator is it's like my favorite videos to make in my entire time on the platform, and that's a lot of videos with regards to Red Dead Redemption 2, especially with the mysteries. I love the mysteries in that game. I would love to see more.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see significantly more mysteries in GTA 6. I know it's a completely different game. It's got to appeal to a different player base, but those mysteries, for me, they're an absolute must because I love them. I just love something to sink my teeth into that just feels like it doesn't end. Yet you get information, you've got to piece it together and work it out for yourself. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Rockstar certainly loved telling stories with their environments, and that helped amplify a lot of the mysteries in Red Dead Redemption 2. But some of them were story. They sort of trail off the story. Some of them trail off the camp. They trail off of elements of the game that you're going to stumble into just as much as your exploration. So I really liked how it made that world feel the most real, because things were happening and not all of them had answers that you could go and find. And I would love for GTA 6 to carry a lot of those, because GTA 5 had a few. GTA 4 had a couple of finds here and there that were also quite, that's interesting. So it's certainly a natural progression of the Rockstar Games open world format, in my opinion, to have them. So I'm just hopeful that they don't bottle it and there are loads, because that'll be juicy. I'll
Do you think we're getting Bigfoot finally?
No, no, I don't.
What is a skunk ape? Does anybody actually know what a skunk ape is?
It's no. We'll find out together.
Because I saw that, and it's like that's some kind of cryptid, I guess.
It is a cryptid.
Skunk ape confirmed.
Yeah.
If you Google it, you'll find some interesting results for sure. Just make sure you spell it properly, otherwise you might end up somewhere else.
A weird website.
This is a funny place.
Yeah.
What is skunkapp.net?
Oh gosh.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, by the way. That's just me coming up with some random nonsense off the top of my head.
Watch it be something awful, and everybody associates it with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be people getting decapitated, unlike CCTV cameras, probably. But no, I would love to see some mystery stuff, because that's my bread and butter as far as content is concerned, that I will then make. But I also love it in any game I find it in. I find myself the most connected with an experience when I can't make heads nor tails of what's going on in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So I love being that immersed in it, and that's hopefully something that GTA 6 will carry on the trend with previous Rockstar games and build upon. And if not, I for entirely selfish reasons, I think I'll be looking for a different career. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of it. The only other thing I was thinking was I didn't like the square maps, so I thought I'll throw in the generic answer I'm going to give, because I'd rather have the circle map back. But there we go.
Yeah, I can dig it. All right, well, that's everybody's wish list. So I've got one more question for everybody, and doesn't really matter what order we go in here. I guess we'll start off with Bav. So you've made it the last 7 months, and it's officially launch day. You've booted up the game and completed the required prologue or starting mission, and you're finally free to explore the open world. Where are you going, and what are you doing first?
I'm probably gonna go and get stuck into the side missions that are available at the time before getting into the next one. Like for me, I want to explore the map, but I'll probably save that for the very end because I want to experience each new location as they come. But yeah, I just want to get stuck into the things that are around me at the time, like the side missions, before progressing through the story.
Fair enough. Dandy, where are you going first?
Well, man, I think, okay, so when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, me and my brother, the very first thing we did is we got in a car and just started bumping into people to test out those Euphoria physics. So I might do something similar, or I don't know, I might just go with it and just kind of let the world reveal, just be super immersed with it. It's been so long now to where I'm like, there's not something I'm like, I'm going to go do this. I think I'm really just going to just let it happen to me like Red Dead 2 and just, blow a never mind. Just really enjoy just really take it in, and get really excited.
Yeah. Let the
Blow a
wind
load
take
and
you.
take it in.
Yeah. All right, Infinity, where are you going first?
I can go with I can go super wild with this answer and be very entertaining and make y'all laugh like really hard. But to be honest with
Go
you,
on, mate.
I think
Just do it.
Don't hold back.
No, but honestly, I just want to play the story and discover what the game is all about, man. I just want to, because you never know what to do, right? When the game first comes out, there's so many possibilities. You have to be able to speculate and know what the game is going to be and what you can do to kind of guess the first thing.
Sure.
But I feel like you're gonna be just mesmerized and kind of forget about, okay, this is the first thing I want to do in the game, and you're just gonna kind of play. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely,
I don't really have. It's the most boring answer. Like I don't have an answer.
No, it's fine. It's
I'll
a good,
just
perfectly
wait
good
and
answer.
see. Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna the right stick. I'm gonna go put that up, and then when I have Lucia, and then I kind of see like. What,
I get it.
no.
I get it.
But one thing I definitely want to do is just, whenever I've had done a couple of missions, I just want to change outfit. Not for wrong reasons, but just because there's so many outfits probably that you can do for both Jason and Lucia. And the amount of customization, I wonder how much it's gonna be. So I just want to go on a discovering journey, and also I'll probably just walk around for like an hour and just walk and just look around. And
Yeah.
you'll probably have some random events here and there that you can be a part of and stumble upon some random stuff, and I can go and make YouTube videos like, hey, I found this random weapon here in this alley. Like go and get it if you want, so it's gonna be dope, and I'm also really looking forward to GTA Online and to play with all of you guys.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for online to roll around. We are for sure squatting up, by the way, and we're going to run some games and do some craziness. It'll be a lot of fun.
There's gonna be so many funny moments, videos. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, like
Do you think we could steal Lucia's high heels and run around in them?
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna steal her booty. Man.
As Jason, like,
High heels
As
and a
Jason,
leopard
you steal
print banana
Lucia's clothes, wear them as Jason.
I'm gonna steal Lucia herself.
We need the banana hammock.
hammock. Yeah, for sure. All right, Fishy, where are you going and what are you doing first?
well, I mean, first things first, I'm gonna load up on alcohol and nicotine. I'm gonna tell my girlfriend I love her and then become a hermit. But after that, it's entirely I will go with where the game takes me. I'm very much so like GTA Infinity before it was made, with a bit unusual there, but I will certainly just take off, see where the game leads me, play through the story at my own pace, because that first playthrough, it's just, you know, I'm not going to be too worried about making content. Maybe I'll record the entire thing for the purpose of like a little thoughts thing come the end, but
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to be chasing what I want to make content on straight away. I'm going to see how the world works first. So I'm going to do story, side missions, see what other findings I can find, and just try and get a mental picture of how the game is sort of put together, and then that's going to help me exponentially down the line. But it's how I play games anyway.
Yeah.
Is I try and map how it's put together, like how all the bits sort of correlate, and then I just find a pattern that sort of mostly works for that, and then I deviate when I feel I can. So it's purely just going to be the next story mission is the most likely answer.
Yeah.
But after that, you know, you take off and you start exploring, and it's going to be glorious. But
it's going to be
I'll be
amazing.
in no hurry to get to the end of it. Yeah.
I cannot
Because
wait.
nobody else will be in a hurry to get to the end of it, so neither will I.
Yeah. I don't think you should rush it. I think this is one of those things. It's
No.
like a good drink. You want to sip it. You know,
You got to
don't wanna-
savor it. You got to savor it like a good whiskey, apparently.
That's exactly right.
Can we pat ourselves on the back here? No one said go on a massive killing spree.
Well, until now.
Now that you mention it,
I'm gonna genocide Leonidas.
Oh gosh.
well,
Oh no.
well. In fairness, games to me are about escapism, and that really wouldn't be escapism for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. We're older now, you know, than we probably were when we were playing like Grand Theft Auto 3 and San Andreas, and
Yeah.
you know, we want to be in the worlds.
For sure.
yeah, you want to soak it in more so than you want to go and just obliterate people for the sake of it. I'm sure once I've done everything else, that rocket launcher is getting touched. And
Yeah,
it's
of
getting
course.
touched heavy, you know. But to begin with, I'm just gonna soak it in.
Yeah.
And enjoy
That
it.
trash truck's going on the beach.
Oh, yes.
It's Omaha and Leonida.
Rico, we're talking about you, buddy. Anyway, well, everybody, why don't you guys take a quick minute and spotlight what you got going on your channel and what kind of content you guys make for those that may not be familiar with your stuff. We can just we're on Fizhy, so go ahead, Fizhy. Let everybody know what you're doing, what you got going.
Well, primarily these days I'm in low power mode actually more than anything. So I've just been making these longer sort of, I would say video essays if I constructed them as such, but just sort of like critiques of games I've played in the past more than anything. But ordinarily my sort of content, I like exploring game mysteries and stuff like that, and I found my footing with that with Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm hoping to carry that format into GTA 6 when the game launches. So that's sort of the general idea of my content roadmap, if you will. It's whatever I feel like doing now so I don't burn myself out before it's game time, and then it's just going to be heavy sort of mysteries and the lore and the discoveries that you can find in the game, and that's going to be me sort of set. I'm sure there'll be other things that I end up doing as well. I don't like committing myself to one style of content. I think after a bit in any one particular area, I get a yearning for trying something else, and that something else is usually something I've tried in the past as well. So I sort of cycle, but that's sort of my general idea is try and see if there's enough in the game for me to do what I hope will be there, and then if there is, fantastic, but that won't be all I do. I just don't know what I do yet. I have never approached YouTube with a plan.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's the best way, you know, just fly by the seat of your pants and, you know, you surprise yourself and surprise your community, and you might stumble on something really cool that works. So I dig it, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Infinity, tell everybody about your channel, what you got going, buddy.
Yeah, man. There's a couple of things that I do. I analyze when there's stuff to be analyzed. So when there's a new map update, I'll analyze that. I love the mapping videos. I love, you know, trailers when they come out, deeply analyze and overanalyze it. And then when it's a little bit more dry, I'll do speculation videos and have fun with that. And that's basically what I do.
Cool deal. Bav?
With my channel right now, I've just been diving into a bunch of the lore for GTA 5 and what's left of it, really. Talking about evolution of the Bravado Banshee and diving into the characters and all that, their backstories, where they ended up before and after the events of the game. Done done a recreation of the GTA 6 trailer 2. I think that was really good.
Which
When
is
trailer 3
hilarious.
drops,
If you haven't seen it,
it's
go
pretty
watch
good.
it.
There's so much work went into that. So when trailer 3 drops, I'm probably gonna try and remake that. If it's not too difficult, I'll definitely give that a go.
Cool deal, man. All right, Dandy, take us home. What's
Bav,
going on? What you got going
Bav,
on?
I'm sorry, Bav. You're definitely an artist, though. I just got to say, like, absolutely top-notch work.
Thank you.
I've subscribed to all of you over the course of this, by the way. But okay, so I'm very new to all this. I didn't expect to do GTA 6, as you know. It just kind of happened this past month, and it's taken off. So the next thing, you know, I get comments all the time. People are like, "Oh, he's running out of topics." It's like, no, I got 11 more. So I'm gonna have some more. And basically, like you said, Sav, when I was talking to you the other days, just kind of covering the bases that you guys have covered, but through my lens. And I'm also trying to come up. I've got a couple of interesting ideas. So basically, as soon as we're done with this, I'm going right into video editing because I got a 22-minute video that I'm shooting to get out by Monday. So lots of that, of course, speculation. And then maybe even look at Bethesda a bit and see if I can get in on that. So
Yeah.
so we'll see.
I can tell you guys right now, as soon as the Elder Scrolls 6 talk starts warming up, I'm going to be talking about all that as well. So
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. That I'm certainly keen for it. I after Starfield, I'm a bit concerned, but I mean,
Yeah.
I liked Skyrim and I like Oblivion and I liked Morrowind, so I should be equipped to absolutely hate the Elder Scrolls 6 whenever it comes out.
yeah,
There you go. Love hate's the perfect way of putting it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that they're more in their element with that kind of thing. So I think it'll definitely be better than Starfield. But
Oh, you'd hope so.
yeah. So, well, that's pretty much all I got. So unless there's anything else that anybody else wants to add, I really appreciate you guys doing this and coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys, getting to know everybody. Everybody here is welcome to come back for another panel down the road. So just let me know, what your schedules are like and when's the best time to do this. And, we'll get you guys back on more.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, man, we really appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Really.
No,
Thanks for bringing us all together.
no problem, man.
I've never felt so welcomed to a community and stuff like this. And man, you guys are freaking awesome. And it's crazy because I watch your videos independently of this, and now I'm getting to meet you and stuff. And I was asking Sav yesterday, I was like, how do I not like act weird around them? And Sav's like, they're chill people. I'm like, oh,
We're
okay.
all weird. We all started.
Hey, we're all weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're all just weirdos that make videos about video games. So you're good, dude. And I'm
That's
like, all right,
exactly
cool.
right. Just a dude behind a computer screen, nothing special. So, I think we all feel the same way about that. So, but you're right. It is an awesome community that I'm really excited about kind of where we're going, the trajectory this community has as we get closer and closer to launch and after launch. I'm really excited. I've made so many awesome friends just in the past few weeks, talking to you guys and setting these things up. So I'm really, really excited about what the future holds. So, but that's all I
Oh, yeah.
got. So
Did we go for 3 hours? Did we do 3 hours?
We didn't do 3 hours. We did 2 hours and 34 minutes. So we had
Okay.
one. We were down one person, and we went longer than the last one. So that's always a good sign. So it's good.
Episode 2,
conversation.
baby.
Yeah, episode 2 in the books.
Yeah.
All right,
And I
guys.
just want to say,
Yeah.
it's nice meeting everybody here because I've never spoken to any of y'all except Bev in the call. Actually, mouth to mouth. That's weird. But you know what I mean, not face to face, but
Oh,
I messed up.
in the strip club.
But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to say, I just wanted to say.
Don't.
nice
I know what you're
meeting
gonna say.
y'all.
Don't say it. Nice meeting you, man. And then we can probably cut this part out if it's not true. But do you also cover Total War videos? Your voice sounds very familiar.
Me? I don't
Yes.
even know what it is. No, that's not like
Okay.
me saying no because I secretly do it. I legitimately, this is my only channel at the moment.
Okay, you sound so similar to a Total War content creator I follow. So I was like, oh my gosh, is that him?
He was having a fanboy moment.
But yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
no. Sorry, man.
No, dude, you're good. You're good. I think it's really cool. All of you guys seem really chill and humble, and it's really freaking cool to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
You're right in, man. Your content's on a generational run right now.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah.
you're doing well.
I've been talking about you a lot in my live streams. I've been talking about you with other people, man. We're really impressed by what you're doing over there. So keep it up.
I'm gonna need a big hug when I crash and burn. So
Well, we'll be here with open arms, buddy.
It's never
All right,
that
well, I appreciate
bad.
y'all.
aim for the ceiling. Expect somewhere in the middle.
Oh
and
yeah,
you'll
you
be
guys,
okay.
you guys have done the highs and lows.
Yeah.
You guys have done it. So
Yeah, there are highs
more
and there are
lows than
definitely
highs,
lows.
but maybe it'll be more highs for you.
What you need to remember is
knows?
like when you get to the point where you're like, I really don't feel like putting out a video this week, then don't. Just take a break. You know, like just relax and take in life and enjoy it, and don't feel like you've got to like marry a schedule or anything. Just do it at the rate that feels fun and enjoyable to you, because when you stop enjoying it, you're gonna stop putting out quality stuff.
amen. That's so true. That's how you get my "We're going to space" video in Grand Theft Auto 6.
Are we going to space in GTA 6?
Hey, you better watch the video, find out, man.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna leave a very angry comment if it doesn't cover it satisfyingly.
We're going to outer space in Grand Theft. I don't know why I made that. I found some keywords and I just went with it. So
Hey,
I
there's
don't know.
nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
fair
We've all
enough.
done it.
It's
So.
a
Hey, it's
thumbnail,
experimentation. It's what you got to do. You
Yeah.
got to experiment. You got to see what's out there. See what kind of content you enjoy making. See what people enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And see where the overlap is.
That's exactly
That
right.
is your sweet spot.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And NASA is in GTA 6 allegedly. So
Yeah.
We're off to space, boys.
Yeah.
We're going to space. Well, they got a space program. That could be a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Man, I love these roundtables, man. It's literally just speculating. Doing with the buddies, the
Yeah.
homies. So
Yeah.
this is cool, man.
We'll have you back, man, for sure. I'm going to get you back on here. So all right.
Appreciate you.
Well, I really appreciate you guys watching till the end. We officially went for 2 hours and 37 minutes, so maybe that'll be a new record. We'll see what the third episode holds. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all that you do and your contributions to the GTA 6 community. Looking forward to growing with everybody, and we'll get you on the next one. See you guys.
thank you, man.
Thank you.
Peace.